Chapter 1490. This demon was a type of demon chapter crystallization, and after fusing it into Zhao Fu's body, a massive wave of demonic qi flowed out and once again formed a terrifying demon. This demonic creature was 3 meters tall and looked like an octopus. It was black but had 8 green eyes, and each of its tentacles had a mouth that was filled with fangs, making it look quite terrifying. The 9th evil flower demon was formed, and Zhao Fu's evil spirit abyss flower reached its 9th stage. The evil flower demon's power once again increased, and it could now grow to 2,000 meters tall. Zhao Fu could control them from 1,000 regions away. Zhao Fu knew the names of the 4 dragons. The red dragon was called Qi Huer, the black dragon was called Mo Iner, the white dragon was called Bai Han Er, and the blue dragon was called Lan Shuer. Master, can you spoil this servant like this in the future? Bai Han Er's face was red as she happily smiled and asked flirtatiously. Zhao Fu smiled and nodded. The 5 of them said that they wanted to give their treasures to Zhao Fu, but Zhao Fu did not want them and only took some things that were useful to him. Soon, it was time for the Demon Sea meeting. There were all sorts of ships on the surface of the ocean, and the location of the meeting was on an island in the Demon Sea. The host was the largest financial group in the area, the Demon Sea Financial Group. It was like a ball and people could get to know each other. Of course, they could also compete, but both sides had to agree. This meeting had been held thousands of times and was quite famous, so it attracted the most people. Zhao Fu brought the women to the island. This island was incredibly big and had at least 1,000 regions. There were powerful barriers and special docks with festive banners and lanterns. There were also all sorts of seashells welcoming people from all over. Zhao Fu brought the women to the island. When Zhao Fu's group arrived, the guard in charge of receiving them felt quite shocked because he found that the 5 demon dragons had also come. These 5 demon dragons lived in the Demon Sea, and they were quite familiar with each other. What shocked him even more was that the 5 demon dragons were around a man, seeming quite infatuated with him. The man wore a cloak, making it impossible to see his appearance. However, he only had Earth Realm cultivation. Looking at this scene, the guard felt quite surprised. He really couldn't imagine how a man with Earth Realm cultivation could tame these 5 ferocious female dragons. However, everyone who came was a guest. As long as they didn't cause trouble, the Chamber of Commerce would welcome them. Therefore, the guard did not say much and invited Zhao Fu and the others in. Arriving at the island, there were already many people gathered here. There were all kinds of people, and there were tables set up all around. There were all sorts of spirit fruits and fine wine on them, and there were also female attendants serving them. The most eye-catching thing was a 1,000-meter-tall coiling dragon pillar. This pillar was 100 meters wide and was made of stone. The dragon coiled around it was incredibly domineering and seemed to be alive, and it gave off a powerful dragon's might. Many people had gathered around the coiling dragon pillar and placed their hands on it. From what they heard, this pillar was used to test one's talent. After all, the Demon Sea Trade Union did not restrict anyone from attending, and even ordinary people could attend. However, in order to differentiate the participants, the Demon Sea Trade Union was split into 3 regions. The first region was for ordinary people and people with ordinary strength. The second region was for people with some status and strength, and the third region was for people with high status and great power. When ordinary people placed their hands on the stone pillar, it would only give off a white light. Those with some talent would give off an azure light, and those with better talent would give off a red light. Suddenly, a white-robed young man placed his hand on the pillar, causing it to give off a violet light and a powerful aura to spread out. This meant that he had extremely high talent, causing everyone to cry out in shock. He's the World Edge Pavilion's Xiao Chong Medallion. With such high talent, he definitely couldn't be a nameless person. Soon, people recognized who the white-robed young man was. Soon, a beautiful female attendant came over and led the Xiao Chong medallion to the high-grade region, making everyone feel quite envious. Another big man placed his hand on the pillar, causing it to give off a violet light. The people in the surroundings once again cried out in shock. Following this, a beautiful female attendant came and led the big man to the high-grade region. "You lowly commoners, make way for our imperial prince." An arrogant and domineering voice sounded out, not putting everyone present in his eyes at all. Everyone turned to look. It was the voice of a ferocious-looking big man. Beside him stood a young man in a dragon robe, his face filled with arrogance, and there were a few guards behind him. Hearing that he was the imperial prince of an empire, no one dared to block him, and they all made way. The young man looked at everyone condescendingly and placed his hand on the dragon pillar. Boom! The dragon pillar gave off a powerful aura and gradually gave off a violet light. The violet light became denser and denser until it stopped at a dark violet color. This meant that the young man's talent was higher than the two people in front. After all, the two people in front were only violet while the young man's was a dark violet. As expected from an imperial prince, his talent is not something ordinary people can compare to. Everyone sighed and felt quite discouraged. Facing an imperial prince with such talent and terrifying status, no matter how arrogant he was, they could only endure it. It was their fault for not having good talent and status. "Sir, please follow me to the high-class area." A beautiful maid bowed slightly and said respectfully. The young man gave a disdainful snort and walked forward with the guards and the maidservant. No one dared to say anything for fear of offending this imperial prince. Zhao Fu stood by the side. He naturally wanted to go to the high-leveled region because he wanted to see who was suitable to be an evil flower emissary. However, Zhao Fu did not want to stand out too much, so he turned and said, "Tianling, go ahead and give it a try." Zhu Tianling nodded and stepped forward before placing her hand on the dragon pillar. The dragon pillar started to give off a violet light, causing everyone to look shocked. The violet light became brighter and brighter until it became a white-gold color. The coiled dragon on the pillar shot out 2 rays of light from its eyes, and a massive aura spread out. The dragon seemed to have some life to it. "Oh my God! This is the first time I've seen platinum light. This woman's talent is too high. It's really scary." Yeah. That imperial prince from before was only dark purple, but this woman is platinum. Doesn't that mean her talent is even higher than imperial princes? It's a pity that she's wearing a cloak, so I can't see her face clearly. I don't know who she is. I really want to know who she is. With such high talent, she definitely isn't an ordinary person and is definitely famous in the demon domain. The young man who had just taken a few steps looked furious as he savagely glared at Zhu Tianling. She was slapping him in the face, but he was quite shocked that her talent was higher than his. Chapter 1491. Hearing this, the young man thought about it and suppressed his anger. Perhaps this woman's status was higher than his, and if he became enemies with her, he might be punished by the Empire. Otherwise, the young man would immediately give the order to cut off this woman's limbs and throw her into the demon sea. Seeing the platinum light, Zhao Fu was not too surprised. After all, Zhu Tianling was the leader of the multitude demon region's 10 demon beauties, and came from a faction that could rival an empire. Not only did she have the highest talent out of all of the women, but she was also the most powerful. Zhu Tianling led the women out of the crowd and returned to Zhao Fu's side. Zhao Fu smiled as he brought her into his embrace, and Zhu Tianling hugged Zhao Fu and leaned against Zhao Fu's embrace. Countless people looked quite confused. They had never thought that such an extraordinarily talented woman with a terrifying identity would be in the embrace of a man. What's more, that man had 20 or so women with him, and that woman was just one of them. Just who is that man? How could he make such a talented woman submit to him? Are the women around him equally as talented? The dragon-robed young man's expression was quite unsightly. He had thought that the woman's status would be higher than his, but now she was intimately leaning against that man's embrace. He directed all of his anger onto Zhao Fu, and he felt a trace of killing intent. The big man next to him could only warn him. For such a talented woman to be willing to submit to that man and serve that man with so many other women, it meant that that man was even more terrifying than they could imagine. Moreover, the women around him all had powerful auras, meaning that they were all expert. If they clashed, they would definitely lose. Everyone looked at Zhao Fu and felt quite curious about Zhao Fu's identity to have so many powerful women as female attendants. Moreover, one of them had even greater talent than an imperial prince. Interesting. A light laugh sounded out, and everyone looked over to see a handsome young man dressed in luxurious clothes. Now it was as if a pot had exploded. Countless screams rang out and the scene was boiling. Countless people looked at the young man excitedly. This young man was called Lu Yue, and he was an Emperor Heaven Realm expert from the 9 Hell Demon College. He was ranked 6th on the Heaven rankings and came from a powerful empire. He was a genius whose name resounded throughout the demon domain, and no one had expected him to participate in the Demon Sea banquet. Lu Yue's bright eyes fell on Zhao Fu's body as he asked, "Who are you?" Zhao Fu's expression became slightly serious, but he was not afraid. Zhao Fu did not fear Emperor Heaven Realm experts as much as before, and now he had a trace of resistance. Facing his words, Zhao Fu calmly replied, "No comment." Those words stunned everyone present. They had not expected Zhao Fu to dare speak to Lu Yue in such a manner. Additionally, Zhao Fu was only an Earth-human stage cultivator. There was a world of difference between their cultivation bases. They felt that Zhao Fu was simply courting death. However, the other party's identity had not been confirmed yet. Perhaps he only dared to act like this because he had a terrifying background. The dragon-robed young man nervously gulped. Even he did not dare to speak to Lu Yue like this. Even though they were both imperial princes, they were evidently not on the same level. Seeing that Zhao Fu did not give him any face, Lu Yue felt a trace of anger in his heart. With his identity, he was already at the apex of the heaven domain, so he did not fear anyone else's identity. At most, he would be equal to them. Boom! An Emperor Heaven Realm power exploded out as Lu Yue stepped out, causing a ferocious gale to blow away Zhao Fu and his group's cloak. Seeing Zhao Fu and his group's appearances, everyone cried out because they were simply too beautiful. Not only was Zhao Fu incredibly handsome, but all of the women around him were breathtakingly beautiful. The woman next to him who had gone up to take the talent test was devastatingly beautiful, and no one could compare to her in terms of beauty. So beautiful! How could there be such beautiful women in this world? That young man is so handsome, I feel like I would fall in love with him immediately. Ah! I feel like I'm going crazy. These people are simply too good-looking. If I'm as pretty as one of them, I can do anything. Lu Yue felt quite surprised as he looked at Zhao Fu and the women around him. He had never thought that they would be so beautiful, and facing Zhu Tianling, he felt a bit moved. Boom! A terrifying might spread out as an azure flame erupted around Zhao Fu's body, causing wild gales to blow. The people in the surroundings' expressions fell, and they quickly retreated. Zhao Fu looked at Lu Yue with a trace of anger. Sensing Zhao Fu's nation armament's power, Lu Yue became slightly serious. Seeing that a massive battle was about to break out, a scholarly-looking middle-aged man with a powerful aura hurriedly came up and smiled as he said, "The two of you are in the middle of the Demon Sea meeting. Please give us some face." The Demon Sea Financial Group was quite powerful in the demon domain, and it was only inferior to the Heaven Spirit Financial Group. Lu Yue thought about it and lightly laughed as he said, "I'll naturally give you the Demon Sea Financial Group's name. Don't worry, sir." Following this, Lu Yue smiled confidently as he said to Zhu Tianling, "If you become my woman, I won't mind anything about you. I can even make you my empress, which is far better than staying by his side." Zhu Tianling lay in Zhao Fu's embrace and looked at Lu Yuye with her beautiful eyes as she calmly smiled and said, "You're wrong. Staying by my husband's side is far better than staying by your side." This caused Lu Yuye to once again feel enraged, and he said with a hint of mockery, "Oh? Tell me about his identity. I think he's better than me. He only has Earth realm cultivation, and if it wasn't for his nation armament, I would be able to crush him easily." Hearing this, Zhu Tianling felt quite angry because Zhao Fu was her man. She coldly laughed as she said, "I don't need to say anything else. Your talent is inferior to my husband's." Lu Yuye loudly laughed as he said, "Is that so? I want to see just how great his talent is." Lu Yuye was quite confident in talent Lu Yuye because his talent was already at the peak of the Heaven Awakened world. Only the top few people in the Heaven Awakened world could surpass him, and those people all had Supreme Emperor stars, so he naturally could not compare to them. Lu Yuye came to the dragon pillar and placed his hand on it. A powerful aura spread out as the dragon pillar gave off platinum-colored light. The light became brighter and brighter until it was quite blinding. The dragon coiled around the pillar gave off intense platinum-colored light as if it was alive and started to move. Chapter 1492. Sensing everyone's admiring gazes, Lu Yuye gave a proud smile and slowly retracted his hand before turning and looking at Zhao Fu condescendingly. Zhao Fu's expression was cold, and before he could do anything, Emo Qianma beside him said gently, "Husband, it's fine." Beside him, Emo Qianma said gently, "Husband, can I go and have a try?" Hearing this, Zhao Fu looked at her and his expression softened as he lightly nodded. Everyone else had never thought that Zhao Fu would not act. A woman who was not any less beautiful than Zhu Tianling walked out, and seeing her walk out, they felt quite curious. Since she dared to come out, she had to at least have Zhu Tianling's talent. However, this woman's strength was a little weak. She was not even at the third order yet. Emo Qianma did not mind everyone's gazes and slowly walked up and lightly placed a slender hand on the dragon pillar. Boom! An explosion sounded out as a massive aura spread out, sending out shockwave. The dragon pillar gave off a platinum light, which became more and more dazzling. Following this, the platinum light disappeared, and a beautiful and dreamlike three-colored light slowly spread out. The dragon on the pillar seemed to have come to life and gave off a three-colored light. It gave off a terrifying dragon's might and made people feel suffocated. Three-colored light. Even though this woman was quite weak, her talent was even greater than Lu Yuye's. Countless people looked incredibly shocked as massive waves crashed in their hearts. Lu Yuye also looked quite shocked. He had never thought that a woman by Zhao Fu's side would have greater talent than him. Moreover, she was Zhao Fu's woman, and even ordinary geniuses did not have such talent. Just who was this woman? The dragon-robed young man felt a trace of fear in his heart. Fortunately, he had not clashed with Zhao Fu. Just the identities of the two women by his side was terrifying enough. As an emperor, his talent reigned above countless people, and Lu Yuye's talent was even greater than his. After all, he was a top-tier emperor, yet there was someone stronger than him. What's more, it was just one of the women by Zhao Fu's side. Next to Zhao Fu, the Enisher said excitedly and proudly, "Husband, our mistress was once a godly spirit comparable to a lord god. My master was once a god comparable to a main god, so you must treat her well from now on. Don't let us down. Master will definitely be of great help to you." Hearing this, Zhao Fu was quite surprised. A main god-level deity was slightly more powerful than an ordinary almighty being. Emo Qianma turned and returned to Zhao Fu's side and lightly hugged Zhao Fu's arm as she smiled warmly and asked, "Husband, what's wrong? I didn't embarrass you, did I?" Zhao Fu smiled and nodded. Everyone was envious and jealous to death. Zhu Tianling felt quite surprised and looked at Emo Qianma with her beautiful eyes. She had never thought that this demon god's talent would be higher than hers. Relying on a woman to defeat me, what kind of ability is that? Fight me if you have the ability. There was a trace of anger on Lu Yue's face as he looked at Zhao Fu, who was hugging both sides. He did not believe that Zhao Fu's talent could surpass Emo Qianma's. Zhao Fu looked at Lu Yue, not showing any signs of weakness, and coldly harumphed, "Watch carefully." Walking to the front of the dragon pillar, Zhao Fu raised his hand and pressed it against the pillar. Boom! A shocking explosion sounded out as the dragon pillar exploded out with an extremely terrifying aura, causing a wild gale to blow. Everyone in the surroundings retreated in fear, and different kinds of lights shot out from the stone pillar. 10 different kinds of lights in total. The 10 different kinds of lights lit up the world, causing the heavens and earth to dim and clouds to swirl. The dragon on the pillar gave off a terrifying dragon's might as it swam around the stone pillar and gave off a massive dragon's roar as if it was going to leave the pillar and fly into the sky. Everyone on the island was given a big fright and quickly gathered over. As the organizer, the Demon Sea Financial Group looked even more shocked as they understood what was going on. Even geniuses with Supreme Emperor stars would at most have 7 kinds of lights, yet Zhao Fu had 10. This meant that this person's talent was many times greater than ordinary people with Supreme Emperor stars. However, was there such a terrifying person in the world? Lu Yue felt quite troubled. Zhao Fu's talent was so monstrous, and it was dozens of times greater than his. Even he could only look up to him. The dragon-robed young man felt some lingering fear. Zhao Fu's performance was simply too shocking. He once again rejoiced that he had not attacked just then, or else he would have suffered a terrible fate. The countless people in the surroundings also looked incredibly shocked as they looked at Zhao Fu. Now they understood everything. No wonder these 2 women with such terrifying talent were willing to submit to him. It was not just these people who were shocked. Zhao Fu's women were also shocked. They had never thought that Zhao Fu's talent would be so terrifying. Zhu Tianling had never thought that Zhao Fu's talent would surpass hers by so much, and Emo Qianma felt quite surprised before happily hugging Zhao Fu. Thinking about Zhao Fu's identity that had been revealed, the women were not as shocked as everyone else. As their man, he should have such terrifying talent. At that moment, 3 people appeared. They had entered the high-grade guest region and had been drawn out by the ripples. They were the 3 people Zhao Fu had met on the ship. The cold-looking young man looked quite shocked and said with an unsightly expression, "He's the person with the Devil Race's Supreme Emperor star from before." What? Hearing this, everyone was once again shocked. They had never thought that Zhao Fu was someone from the Devil Race. However, he did not give off any intense devil chi. However, as someone with the Devil Race's Supreme Emperor star, it was not strange for him to have such terrifying talent. What they did not know was that even a Supreme Emperor star could not reach Zhao Fu's level, as Zhao Fu had 4 Emperor stars. Lu Yue hid the killing intent in his heart. Seeing that Zhao Fu had such high cultivation, he had wanted to kill Zhao Fu to prevent any future problems. However, after hearing about this, he understood that he could not kill Zhao Fu. After all, people like Zhao Fu definitely had higher beings protecting them in the dark, as they were simply too important to a faction. Moreover, even if he could kill Zhao Fu, he could not do it openly. Otherwise, the consequences of killing a Devil Race's Supreme Emperor star would be too great, and it might even lead to a war between the Demon Race and Devil Race, putting his empire at a disadvantage. Staying here would not give him any face, and Lu Yue did not want to be laughed at by others. He coldly harumphed and turned into a ray of light as he disappeared over the horizon. Everyone else looked at Zhao Fu respectfully. They now understood Zhao Fu's identity, and some people even wanted to go up and curry favor with Zhao Fu. A beautiful female attendant was about to go up when the middle-aged man stopped her and smiled as he said to Zhao Fu, "Devil Race young master, let me lead you to the high-grade guest region. Let me lead you to the high-class reception area. For a person like you to participate in the Demon Sea meeting is really giving our Demon Sea trading group face." This time, the Demon Sea meeting will be even more lively. Chapter 1493. This tower was very big, and there were many huge pillars at the bottom. The floor was made of smooth marble, and this was the high-class reception area. There were already many tables set up, and there were many people here, all of them with powerful auras and extraordinary looks. As Zhao Fu led his people here, countless people looked over. They already knew what had just happened, and their expressions became somewhat serious. The lively scene calmed down and everyone just looked at Zhao Fu, not saying anything. Zhao Fu ignored these people and took his women to find a place to sit. A while later, this place became lively again, and everyone started to talk. Some people would occasionally look over, and Zhao Fu did not mind these gazes. He secretly looked at the women present to see which one was suitable to be an evil flower emissary. Following this, a few more top-tier figures came over and turned their gazes from Zhao Fu to others. There was the young emperor of the strongest empire nearby, a cold-looking young man. There was also a famous genius from the demon domain who was not any less famous than Lu Yi. There was also a legacy disciple from a top-tier sect in the demon domain who was also quite famous. Zhao Fu's situation was quite awkward because he was in the demon domain, and everyone thought that he was from the devil race and that his strength was quite low. However, there were a few people who wanted to go up and talk to Zhao Fu, but Zhao Fu refused them all. Zhao Fu knew who he was, so he naturally did not want to have too much contact with them in case his true identity was revealed. Suddenly, a peerlessly beautiful woman with a tall and slim figure and faint violet hair wearing violet clothes arrived. Everyone in the surroundings looked slightly shocked because this woman was the 7th-ranked beauty in the demon domain. She was called Yuan Ziyuan, and she was a peerlessly beautiful woman who was 1 in a trillion. No other woman could compare to her, and she came from a top-tier faction in the demon domain. Zhao Fu was quite interested in her, and Yuan Ziyuan was also an Emperor Heaven Realm expert. If she could become an evil flower emissary, she would be the most suitable one. However, Zhao Fu did not dare to do anything to her. After all, she was the 7th-ranked beauty in the demon territory, and she came from the demon territory's terrifying power. She definitely had something that could summon higher beings, just like Zhao Fu's Wu in the historical remnant. Making a move on her would undoubtedly be courting death, so Zhao Fu could only continue to size up the other women. When Yuan Ziyuan entered, some people quickly surrounded her. There were both men and women among them, and soon, they were chatting and laughing. Ever since Zhao Fu saw Yuan Ziyuan appear, the other women seemed to lose their luster and looked down on her. However, Zhao Fu did not dare to do anything to her, so he could only inwardly sigh. After hearing that Zhao Fu had the Devil Race's Emperor star, Yuan Ziyuan looked at Zhao Fu and felt quite surprised. Firstly, she was surprised that Zhao Fu's cultivation was so low, and secondly, someone with the Devil Race's Emperor star dared to appear in the demon domain so brazenly. Moreover, looking at the women around Zhao Fu, she could tell how dissolute Zhao Fu was, and Yuan Ziyuan did not like this. However, after thinking about it, she decided to go up and get to know him. After all, Zhao Fu was someone with the Devil Race's Emperor star, and his name would definitely shake the Devil domain in the future. There was no harm in getting to know Zhao Fu, and perhaps he would be of use in the future. I am Yuan Ziyuan, and I am from the Abyss Empire. May I ask where Sir comes from? Yuan Ziyuan went up and smiled as she introduced herself. Her way of speaking was quite masculine, and no wonder she was wearing violet clothes. Zhao Fu felt quite surprised that Yuan Ziyuan would take the initiative to talk to him, so he naturally could not tell her the truth. My name is Yao Yi, and I'm from a small faction. Hearing Zhao Fu's reply, Yuan Ziyuan felt quite interested in Zhao Fu and continued to chat with Zhao Fu. However, she felt quite disappointed because Zhao Fu did not say anything. This made Yuan Ziyuan feel quite confused. Zhao Fu most likely came from a top-tier faction, so why did he not say anything? Even if he said this, it would not have much of an impact, and it would instead make everyone present want to curry favor with him. Could it be that this person's identity was quite complicated and he could not say anything? Seeing that Yuan Ziyuan was starting to suspect his identity, Zhao Fu became quite wary. Without that layer of mystery, it would be quite dangerous for Zhao Fu to be here. Yuan Ziyuan continued to smile as she asked, "Since Sir has the Devil Race's Emperor Star, you must be a peerless genius in the Devil Domain. I'm sure everyone in the Devil Domain knows about you. Why don't you tell us who you are so that we can admire you?" Hearing Yuan Ziyuan's question, Zhao Fu replied bluntly, "You're one of the Demon Domain's 10 great beauties. Why are you wearing a veil? Do you not dare to see others? I'm currently lacking female attendants, and you can become my female attendant." Hearing this, Yuan Ziyuan felt a trace of anger, and everyone else felt that Zhao Fu was quite arrogant. He actually wanted Yuan Ziyuan, one of the Demon Domain's 10 great beauties, to be his female attendant. With Yuan Ziyuan's status and beauty, this was simply impossible. "Yuan you're here too." A soft voice sounded out as a voluptuous woman with a pair of large breasts and a flirtatious aura walked out and smiled as she spoke. Seeing the beautiful woman, Yuan Ziyuan gave a happy smile and said, "Nanny, I was just passing by and wanted to see you." The beautiful woman was called Long Ernyang, and her original form was a demon dragon. She had been Yuan Ziyuan's nanny and had lived with her for a while. Yuan Ziyuan had liked Long Ernyang since she was young, so she would come to visit her whenever she had time. Seeing Long Ernyang appear, Long Hao gave a trace of a smile. She softly said in Zhao Fu's ear, "Husband, didn't you want to obtain Yuan Ziyuan? Now I have an idea." Hearing this, Zhao Fu felt quite delighted and asked, "What is it?" Long Hao whispered her idea into Zhao Fu's ear, following which Zhao Fu and his group left the island. Seeing Zhao Fu leave, everyone did not feel as restrained as before. In actuality, they did not like Zhao Fu because Zhao Fu was from the devil race and was too arrogant. His departure was good for everyone. Following this, a few more major figures came to the banquet, causing it to become even more lively. After the banquet concluded, Long Ernyang returned to the palace in the depths of the Demon Sea, where Long Hao and the other 4 women were waiting for her. Seeing Long Ernyang, Long Hao smiled and called out, "Ernyang, we've been waiting for you for so long. We've been waiting for you for a long time. Why are you only back now?" The 5 women were demon dragons and lived in the Demon Sea. They had a good relationship with Long Ernyang and were usually taken care of by her. Chapter 1494. Lan Kuer shyly replied, "Ernyang? He's our master, and we're serving him together." Long Ernyang felt quite surprised and asked, "Isn't he just an Earth Realm cultivator? How could he subdue the 5 of you? Why aren't you resisting him? Did he use any means to threaten you?" Chi Huer replied, "Of course not. Ernyang, it's not what you think. We voluntarily submitted to him, and he's our Dragon Pearl young master and has the Devil Race's Emperor Star." Long Ernyang looked quite shocked. "Is he really the Dragon Clan's young master? How come I couldn't tell? However, for you to follow the Dragon Clan's young master and serve him, adding on his Devil Race's Emperor Star, the 5 of you will have great fortune." Long Hao flirtatiously smiled as she said, "That's why. How could we forget about such a good thing? We came to ask you to serve the young master with us." Long Ernyang looked quite delighted, but she was also quite worried. "Young master, will you like me? I'm old now and can't compare to the 5 of you." Long Hao smiled as she replied, "Don't worry, Ernyang. The young master loves beautiful women like you." After saying this to Long Ernyang, Long Hao turned and said, "Master, you can come out." Hearing this, Zhao Fu walked out and smiled as he looked at Long Ernyang. Long Ernyang looked at Zhao Fu's handsome face, and after hearing that he was the Dragon Clan's young master, her face blushed and her eyes became lustful. giving off a mature charm. Zhao Fu smiled as he went up and hugged Long Ernyang's body. Long Ernyang lightly wrapped her arms around Zhao Fu's neck and said flirtatiously, "Young master, let me serve you." After an intense round, Long Ernyang tightly hugged Zhao Fu, her eyes filled with hot tears as she said gratefully, "Thank you, young master, for doting on me. It's the first time I've experienced this sort of pleasure." Zhao Fu smiled and lightly nodded. Long Hao-er, who was lying on Zhao Fu's other arm, smiled and said, "Ernyang, are you unable to leave the young master? Actually, I have a matter to discuss with you." Long Ernyang was puzzled. "What's the matter?" "If it's something young master needs, I'll definitely do it." After Long Hao-er told her about this matter, Long Ernyang hesitated and said, "That's quite dangerous. Yuan Er's identity is not simple, and she trusts me so much. I've always treated her as my daughter." Bai Han tried to persuade her, "Second mother, think about the young master. He really needs Yuan Ziyuan. Also, the young master is the dragon race's young master, and has the Emperor's star. He will protect you and not harm Yuan Ziyuan. Instead, he will give her a good home so that you can always be together." Long Ernyang thought about it and agreed. However, she asked Zhao Fu, "Young master, Zhao Fu, I'm not interested in you. You have to treat Yuan better." Zhao Fu smiled and nodded in agreement. Following this, Yuan Ziyuan was called here. After drinking a cup of water, she fell unconscious. She had never thought that the wet nurse she had liked since she was young would harm her. The cup of water was naturally filled with a powerful medicine called the Fainting Soul Powder. It was a treasure that Long Hao-er had collected and was incredibly effective. Even Emperor Heaven Realm experts would not be able to resist it, allowing Zhao Fu's plan to be quite successful. Looking at the unconscious Yuan Ziyuan, Zhao Fu stretched out his hand and took off her veil. Looking at that peerlessly beautiful face, it was suffocating. It was even more beautiful than Zhu Tianling's, and Zhao Fu's heart uncontrollably sped up. Zhao Fu quickly suppressed these emotions and pressed his hand against Yuan Ziyuan's abdomen. A massive wave of energy flowed in, and a round black pearl was forced out. Seeing this black pearl, Zhao Fu became incredibly careful because this was the item that Yuan Ziyuan could use to summon a higher being. If Yuan Ziyuan was in any danger, it would immediately sense it and activate to summon a higher being. This pearl had to be sealed, so Zhao Fu took out the Heaven Sealing Sword and sucked the pearl into it. He used the Heaven Sealing Sword's power to suppress this black pearl. Following this, Zhao Fu let out a sigh of relief and gave a happy smile as he hugged Yuan Ziyuan and walked to the large bed. Something indescribable happened. During this process, Zhao Fu purposely dispelled the fainting soul powder within Yuan Ziyuan's body and woke her up. Her power had long since been sealed, so there was nothing to worry about. She uncontrollably madly did it with Zhao Fu. Afterwards, Yuan Ziyuan lay in Zhao Fu's embrace and did not say anything. She was expressionless and her expression was incredibly cold. Zhao Fu hugged her with one hand and said softly, "I'll take responsibility for you in the future and won't let you suffer any grievances." Long Ernyang lay on Zhao Fu's other side and said guiltily, "Yuan I'm really sorry. Young master greatly likes you and needs you. As a member of the dragon race, I can't refuse young master's request, so I'll accept whatever you do to me. Moreover, I've always treated you as my daughter and wanted you to stay by my side. Now that we can serve young master together, we can always be together. Now that you've become an evil flower emissary, you can't resist young master anymore. It's better for you to accept young master, all right?" Yuan Ziyuan coldly looked at Zhao Fu and said, "Speak. Just who are you and why are you the evil spirit Abyss Flower Ancestor's legatee?" Seeing how cold she was and how rude she was, Zhao Fu felt that he was in the wrong and smiled as he said, "Call me husband and I'll tell you." Yuan Ziyuan looked quite angry and pinched Zhao Fu a few times to vent her anger before calling out coldly, "Husband." Zhao Fu had never thought that she would actually call him that, and he smiled as he explained how he had obtained the evil spirit Abyss Flower's power. He only said that he had obtained it after breaking into the seal and did not say much else. Yuan Ziyuan dissatisfiedly harumphed as she said, "That's all?" Zhao Fu hugged Yuan Ziyuan and smiled as he said, "I'll tell you the details later." Yuan Ziyuan's expression eased and she lightly hugged Zhao Fu as she said softly, "If you want to be my man, you must be an unparalleled figure. You have the Devil Race's Emperor Star, so you barely qualify." Zhao Fu could not help but laugh. He understood that Yuan Ziyuan had acknowledged him, and he said, "Yuan Air, don't worry." He said, "Yuan Air, you won't be wrong about me. One day I'll let the world know of my name. Moreover, I didn't come to the demon domain to develop the evil spirit Abyss Flower's power. I came here to awaken the demon race's supreme Emperor Star." Yuan Ziyuan looked quite disbelieving and said softly, "How can a person have two Emperor Stars? Moreover, you're from the Devil Race, not the Demon Race. How could you awaken a demon star?" Chapter 1495. Yuan Air, you're not angry anymore? Seeing that Yuan Ziyuan had accepted Zhao Fu, Long Ernyang gave a happy smile and said to Yuan Ziyuan. Yuan Ziyuan felt a trace of bitterness as she said, "Wet nurse. I trusted you so much and treated you like my mother, but you treated me like this." Hearing this, Long Ernyang looked apologetic and guilty, and she wanted to say something. However, Yuan Ziyuan spoke first. "Forget it, wet nurse. I'm not angry at you. I've already accepted my fate and don't want to say anything else. In the future, we'll have to depend on each other. Who knows how many women this bad guy has?" Long Ernyang happily nodded. "Yuan Air, I definitely won't let you down. I will definitely not let the young master down. I will guarantee this, I will stand on your side." Yuan Ziyuan smiled and looked at Zhao Fu with a trace of embarrassment as she said, "Bad guy, I definitely won't let young master down. I wasn't able to enjoy myself while I was unconscious. Hurry up." Zhao Fu lightly laughed, and the three of them continued to do it. Now, he had finally found the 11th demon beauty. Her looks and talent, as well as her status, were all terrifying, and Zhao Fu gave a satisfied smile. Now, there was only one left to gather the 12 demon beauties and make them all evil flower emissaries. What was even more delightful was that Yuan Ziyuan was also an Emperor Heaven Realm expert, and subduing her was equivalent to subduing an Emperor Heaven Realm expert. Back when he had gone to the Emperor Path College, he had been suppressed and bullied by all sorts of Emperor Heaven Realm experts. Now, he could make Emperor Heaven Realm experts moan beneath him, and thinking about that, Zhao Fu felt a trace of satisfaction. Zhao Fu brought the women and left the Demon Sea, concluding this trip to the Demon Sea and heading towards the historical remnant. A few days later, they came to a plains. It was said that there were a large number of wild boars here, as well as a terrifying wild boar king. Zhao Fu needed demonic creatures that could become evil flower demons, as well as large amounts of flesh and blood. There were indeed groups of wild boars here, and each one was 3 meters tall. They were covered with black fur and had 2 long, sharp, black fangs and blood-red eyes. Zhao Fu directly released the 9 evil flower demons. The 9 evil flower demons were 2,000 meters tall and gave off massive auras. They gave off dense demonic chi and a coldness that could make people's hearts tremble. Right after the evil flower demons were released, the countless boars felt terror and quickly ran to the side. The 9 evil flower demons opened their mouths and exploded out with a massive suction force, causing the escaping beasts to be sucked into the sky. They gave off mournful cries before being digested into the evil flower demons' mouths, turning into flesh and blood energy. One wild boar after another was sucked into the sky, letting out terrified cries. The scene was extremely spectacular, as if the sky was filled with flying boars. Roar! A massive number of wild boars were devoured, and a furious roar sounded out, causing the ground to violently tremble. A massive aura flooded out. It was the Wild Boar King. This Wild Boar King made everyone feel quite surprised because it was not beast-shaped but humanoid. It was 10,000 meters tall and had a black boar head. It was covered with black fur and had a large stomach. It had a pair of sharp claws and legs that were like boar feet, and it gave off a terrifying aura. However, Zhao Fu and the others were not afraid of it at all. This Wild Boar King only had extreme divine realm power, and Zhao Fu had 10 or so extreme divine realm experts and an Emperor Heaven realm expert, so they could completely suppress it. Zhao Fu did not move and ordered the women, "Kill it! Give me its heart!" The women gave off powerful auras and turned into rays of light as they shot towards the Wild Boar King. The Wild Boar King looked furious and raised a claw as it swiped at the women. It brought with it 5 black arcs of light, and an explosion sounded out, seeming to be able to tear apart anything. Yuan Ziyuan drew a saber and vigorously slashed out, sending out a massive violet saber light that gave off world-destroying power. Bang! The Wild Boar King was sent flying back, and a massive explosion sounded out. An extremely deep gash appeared on one of its claws, from which black blood flowed out like a fountain. Zhu Tianling slashed out, sending out a sharp sword light that slashed into the Wild Boar King's body. The Wild Boar King's tough body was easily sliced open, and blood continuously flowed out as the Wild Boar King roared in pain. Long Hao Er and the other 4 women held dragon spears and stabbed towards the Wild Boar King with immense power, causing the air to explode. The 5 dragon spears stabbed into the Wild Boar King's body, tearing apart its flesh and causing blood to fly everywhere. The dragon spears' terrifying piercing power continuously pierced into the Wild Boar King's body, destroying its flesh and blood. Roar! The Wild Boar King roared in pain. Facing the women's attacks, it was unable to react at all. It understood that it was not a match for these women, so it quickly tried to run. Yuan Ziyuan was already there waiting for it, and she slashed out with her saber. A massive violet saber light tore through the sky, seeming to be able to split the heavens and earth in half. This was the power of the Emperor Heaven realm. The Wild Boar King looked terrified and blocked with its hands in front of its body, and it exploded out with a ferocious wave of demonic qi. Pooh! The demonic qi that the Wild Boar King had gathered was split apart by the saber strike, and its hands that were blocking in front of it were also cut off. Blood spurted out like rain, and the Wild Boar King let out a mournful cry that resounded through the sky. However, the howl quickly stopped as Zhu Tianling appeared at the back of its head. Her sword gave off a sword light that ferociously stabbed into the Wild Boar King's brain. The Wild Boar King's expression froze and it died on the spot. Its massive body heavily crashed to the ground, smashing open a large crater and sending shockwaves everywhere. After the Wild Boar King was surrounded and killed by the women, Zhao Fu smiled and had the 9 evil flower demons devour the Wild Boar King's body. Yuan Ziyuan took out a piece of heart essence and gave it to Zhao Fu. There were benefits to having more people, and from the start, Zhao Fu did not do anything and just waited here. Zhao Fu took the heart essence, which was a piece of flesh that gave off black light. He started to eat it and it tasted quite tough. A terrifying wave of demonic qi flowed out of Zhao Fu's body, causing Zhao Fu to look incredibly pained. The demonic qi continuously condensed and changed, forming a 3-meter-tall monster. It had 2 ugly pig heads and 2 large mouths that were filled with sharp teeth. It was fat and covered with black fur and had a pair of sharp claws. Zhao Fu had condensed the 10th evil flower demon, and the evil spirit abyss flower had reached its 10th stage. The 10 evil flower demons' strength had once again increased, and they were now 3,000 meters tall. Zhao Fu could control them from 10,000 regions away. Chapter 1496. A few days later, Zhao Fu and his group arrived at the historical remnant. It was on a large mountain, and even though Zhao Fu had obtained the medallion to open the historical remnant, he was still lacking something, which was the void mirror. There were 2 doors to the historical remnant. The first required the void mirror to open, and the second required the medallion. The void mirror was in Mo Qinyue's hands, and the Nether Spirit Empire's king had said that she would be given to him. The medallion in Zhao Fu's hand had the ability to control that woman. Zhao Fu did not know what the relationship between Mo Qinyue and the Nether Spirit Empire's king was, and he did not know what this historical remnant was about. Right now, he was looking for that woman called Mo Qinyue. She was most likely nearby, as the medallion in Zhao Fu's hand could sense her. Otherwise, it would be quite difficult to find her. Boom! A massive explosion sounded out as a power that seemed to control the heavens and earth exploded out, sending out terrifying shockwaves. Zhao Fu and the others' bodies froze as if they had fallen into a deep abyss. This was the power of a higher being, and everyone felt quite shocked. However, Yuan Ziyuan sensed something and said, "Husband, this isn't a true higher being's power. This isn't the power of a true powerhouse. Someone must have summoned a clone of a powerhouse." Hearing this, Zhao Fu felt a bit interested and said to everyone, "You all stay here for now, I'll go and have a look." Because this shockwave had come from quite far away, it would be fine for Zhao Fu to watch from afar. In order to make it easier for him to escape, Zhao Fu naturally could not bring them along. "Master, be careful." "Be careful then," Long Hauer said as she looked at Zhao Fu reluctantly. Zhao Fu smiled and nodded before turning into a ray of light and shooting over the horizon. By now, the shockwave had stopped, and Zhao Fu did not know what had happened. As such, he cautiously flew at a low altitude and slowly reached the center of the battle. A higher being's power was truly terrifying. The surrounding 10,000 kilometers had been turned into scorched earth, and not a single flower, tree, insect, bird, or beast had survived. They had all been turned into charcoal, and many places had turned into magma. Many mountains had been flattened. Zhao Fu's hair stood on end as he sensed the strands of terrifying aura that emanated from this place, and he couldn't help but feel a trace of fear in his heart. Now, Zhao Fu didn't dare to go forward. Instead, he stayed where he was and waited. After a while, when there was no movement inside, Zhao Fu dared to go in and check. Not long after, Zhao Fu saw a woman covered in blood moving forward with difficulty. This woman had a bewitching figure and long, jet-black hair. She had violet eyes and a blood-red circular mark on her forehead that gave off a faint blood-red light. She wore a white palace dress that was dyed blood-red. She was even more beautiful than a celestial maiden, and she gave off a cold and refined aura. She was not a mortal woman. By now, the woman was heavily injured and did not even have the ability to fly. Zhao Fu felt that her identity was not simple at all, as she was even more beautiful than Yuan Ziyuan. Moreover, it was likely that she had summoned a higher being. Because she had just summoned a higher being, she could not summon it again. Seeing how heavily injured the woman was, Zhao Fu did not feel any fear and smiled as he appeared in front of the woman. Seeing that Zhao Fu was blocking in front of her with ill intent, the woman's expression became quite unsightly. She did not have any power and had important things to do, so she could not stay here. "I'm the Demon Emperor Sex D. Moji. I can give you anything you want, but don't seek death." Zhao Fu felt quite confused. He had never heard of the Demon Emperor sect before and did not know who D. Moji was. However, he felt that she was not simple, and her cultivation was quite powerful. She was at least in the Emperor Heaven realm. If it was before, Zhao Fu would have been afraid, but seeing how heavily injured she was and that she could not summon a higher being, Zhao Fu naturally did not feel afraid. Moreover, this woman could definitely become an evil flower emissary. The evil spirit Abyss Flower's power within Zhao Fu's body became incredibly excited and madly wanted to fuse with her. This feeling was even more intense than that of Yuan Ziyuan. "I want you to be my woman." Zhao Fu looked at Dimoji and laughed as he said loudly, not showing any fear or any intent to negotiate. She was undoubtedly the most suited to become the 12th Evil Flower emissary, and when she became one, Zhao Fu's conditions would be fulfilled. Dimoji coughed up a mouthful of blood and her gaze became cold as she said, "Don't you know who I am? If you dare to touch me at all, the Demon Emperor sect will destroy the 10 worlds around you." Hearing her threat, Zhao Fu did not mind and smiled. He had already offended many people, so he did not mind offending her. Zhao Fu did not say anything else, and he gave a trace of a smile as he walked towards Dimoji. Dimoji's face paled as she retreated, feeling quite surprised. With the Demon Emperor sect's reputation, she had not been able to scare this person away. If she had known this would happen, she would have summoned a higher being when killing the Cloud Sky Beast, and she would not have been so injured. Bang! Dimoji continuously retreated and stumbled to the ground. Her blood chi became chaotic and she coughed up a large mouthful of blood as she collapsed to the ground, unable to get up at all. Zhao Fu lightly smiled and walked up. How could he reject a demon woman who had been delivered to him for free? This would save him the trouble of trying to capture her. Zhao Fu squatted down and set up restrictions within her body before forcing out the item that could summon a higher being. It was a blood-red orb that gave off an intense blood-red light, and Zhao Fu placed it into the heaven-sealing sword before feeling at ease. Seeing how weak she was, Zhao Fu gave her some healing medicinal pills and used his power to help her recover, causing her complexion to become a bit rosier. This caused Dimoji's cold expression to warm up, and she no longer felt as repulsed by Zhao Fu. However, her eyes became icy cold and filled with hatred and killing intent because Zhao Fu, that bastard, started to take off her clothes. Following this, her perfect body was revealed to Zhao Fu, and just as Zhao Fu was about to do it with her, Dimoji's eyes started to tear up. She felt incredibly wronged. She had actually been defiled by this perverted demon today. Seeing her cry, Zhao Fu could not bear it and said gently, "Now you understand that I won't let you off. However, I'll take good care of you in the future. How about becoming my woman? With my status, I'm a good match for you." Chapter 1497. Zhao Fu felt quite startled and asked, "What is it?" Dimoji replied, "I have a cloud sky pearl in my spatial ring. You can just take it to the Demon Emperor sect. You have to be quick. My little sister urgently needs it." Zhao Fu immediately refused. "Don't tell me you want me to walk right into a trap? If I go to the Demon Emperor sect, will I be able to come back? I won't be so stupid as to agree to your request." Dimoji said somewhat angrily, "I'm not an evil person like you. If you don't want to go to the Demon Emperor sect, you can take the Cloud Sky Pearl to a nearby kingdom. I'll write a letter and have them take it to the Demon Emperor sect. They won't dare to refuse." Hearing this, Zhao Fu felt that this method was feasible. However, from Dimoji's tone, it seemed that the Demon Emperor sect was quite powerful. Zhao Fu could not help but ask, "What kind of faction is the Demon Emperor sect? Is it really that powerful?" Dimoji coldly replied, "Of course. The Demon Emperor sect is one of the top 10 factions in the demon domain. I advise you to let me go. You'll obtain everything you want and I won't pursue this matter." Zhao Fu laughed. How could he give up on meat that was already in his mouth? So what if it was one of the top 10 factions in the demon domain? If it could not discover him, it would not be a threat to him. Zhao Fu kissed Dimoji's cheek and smiled as he said, "Go write the letter. I'll help you get it over immediately." Dimoji was quite furious. She had never thought that after Zhao Fu found out how terrifying her faction was, he would still dare to take advantage of her. However, it was fortunate that he had agreed. This matter could be completed. Dimoji took out a jade pendant. With Zhao Fu's help, she had already recovered her strength, and she drew a few lines in the air with her finger, leaving behind a few words on the jade pendant. "For you." Dimoji handed the jade pendant to Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu took the jade pendant and examined it. After finding that there was nothing wrong with it, he put it away. Dimoji felt quite displeased as she said, "I knew you wouldn't believe me, but I'm not an evil person like you. I have that bit of pride." Zhao Fu smiled and pressed her under his body, preparing to do it with her. Dimoji struggled angrily. "You haven't helped me with my matters yet. I won't give my body to you. Can't you let me have your body first before doing anything?" Zhao Fu said with some dissatisfaction. Dimoji said firmly, "Of course." Zhao Fu felt a bit helpless. He thought about it and said with a smile, "Then take it out. I'll send it to you now." Dimoji's expression was cold as she lightly nodded and took out a transparent, egg-sized pearl that was surrounded by mist. It was the Cloud Sky Pearl. Zhao Fu could sense that the Cloud Sky Pearl's aura far surpassed the Emperor Heaven Realm, and it was definitely a terrifying treasure. However, Zhao Fu thought about it and did not take it for himself, as subduing Dimoji was the most important thing right now. With a wave of his hand, an evil flower demon appeared beside him. Zhao Fu gave the 2 items to it and had it deliver them to nearby kingdoms. Now that Zhao Fu could control the evil flower demons from 10,000 regions away, this was much easier for Zhao Fu. "Alright. It will deliver these 2 items to nearby kingdoms," Zhao Fu said to Dimoji. Hearing this, Dimoji obediently lay on the ground and closed her eyes, looking like she had accepted her fate, as if she had been bitten by a dog. Zhao Fu laughed and started to do it with her, and an intense round of it started. Dimoji madly responded to Zhao Fu, looking quite lewd, and they only stopped after a few hours. "So you're the evil spirit Abyss Flower Ancestors legatee. No wonder you wanted me and were so despicable." Dimoji's face was red as she pouted in Zhao Fu's embrace. Zhao Fu hugged her and smiled in surprise as he asked, "You also know about this?" Dimoji rolled her eyes at Zhao Fu and replied, "Of course. The evil spirit Abyss Flower Ancestors matter once shook the demon domain and caused a lot of harm. There are records of how terrifying this power is, and the evil spirit Abyss Flower Ancestor likes to steal women and then humiliate them, just like you." Zhao Fu gave a trace of an evil smile as he said, "I don't think I did anything just then. I don't know who took the initiative." Dimoji's face became bright red and she bashfully hit Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu smiled and stopped her, saying, "Alright, there are still people waiting for me. Let's get up and leave." Dimoji nodded and got up to put on a new palace dress. Zhao Fu hugged her and flew back, feeling quite good. Now that he had gathered the 12 demon women, he only needed 2 evil flower demons to awaken his demon star. After returning to where they were, Yuan Ziyuan looked at the woman in Zhao Fu's embrace in confusion, and Dimoji also looked at Yuan Ziyuan in surprise. Looking at their expressions, Zhao Fu asked curiously, "Do you know each other?" Yuan Ziyuan felt quite angry and glared at Zhao Fu as she said somewhat jealously, "Husband, you're quite good. You even brought back the demon domain's #1 beauty." Hearing this, everyone else looked quite shocked. They had never thought that the woman in Zhao Fu's embrace would be the demon domain's #1 beauty. That devastatingly beautiful appearance made them feel quite embarrassed to go up, and they knew that they could not compare to her. Zhao Fu lightly laughed. He had never thought that Dimoji would be the demon domain's #1 beauty. He had only known that she was prettier than Yuan Ziyuan and that the faction behind her was incredibly powerful. Dimoji looked at Yuan Ziyuan and quickly understood why she was here. She also roughly knew what method Zhao Fu had used to obtain Yuan Ziyuan, and she lightly harumphed as she hit Zhao Fu a few more times, feeling that Zhao Fu was simply too despicable. She knew Yuan Ziyuan, but they were not familiar with each other. At the same time, Dimoji could sense Yuan Ziyuan's jealousy and lightly laughed as she said, "Yuan Ziyuan? Even though we weren't very familiar with each other before, since we've both become this bad person's women, I'm sure we can get along well." Yuan Ziyuan's expression eased because facing the demon domain's #1 beauty, she felt great pressure. Now that Moji had taken the initiative to express goodwill, she naturally would accept. Zhao Fu went up and hugged Yuan Ziyuan as he smiled and said softly, "I won't neglect you, don't worry." Yuan Ziyuan happily smiled and nodded in trust in Zhao Fu. Looking at Moji's red face, Mei Lingling felt a bit displeased as she said, "Husband, you can't have fun by yourself and make us wait here. You can't have fun outside and let us wait for you here. Now you have to make it up to us." Bai Han Er agreed, saying, "That's right. Husband, you can't neglect us either." Zhao Fu felt quite helpless, and after some indescribable things happened, the women's faces became red and they gave pleased smiles as they started to search for Mo Qingyue. Chapter 1498. Lu Zhongmen. Today you'd best hand over the void mirror. You're no longer a match for us, or else we'll destroy your Lu family, a savage-looking gray-robed elder yelled at a gentle-looking middle-aged man. The gentle-looking middle-aged man hesitated, but looking at the people continuously dying, he gritted his teeth and said, "I can give you the void mirror, but you have to let these people go first." The savage-looking elder thought about it and nodded, and he had everyone stop. The gentle-looking middle-aged man, Lu Zhongmen, gathered the remaining people of the Lu family and said sorrowfully, "Hurry and leave. Run as far as you can. The Lu family won't be able to hold on this time. I'll stay here to deal with them." "Father, we're not leaving. We're willing to live or die with the Lu family," a valiant-looking young man said resolutely. He was the eldest son of the Lu family, Lu Ming. Lu Zhongmen angrily cursed, "Fools! You want to destroy the Lu family? What good is there for everyone to stay here?" Next to him was a virtuous and beautiful middle-aged woman. She was the Lu family's big madam, Zhang Qingli. Her face was covered with tears as she said, "We should listen to your father's orders and leave as soon as possible. In the future, the Lu family will have a chance to come back." "That's right. I don't want to die here for nothing. I haven't enjoyed myself yet," a young man who had drunk too much yelled in terror. He was the Lu family's second young master. Another slim and flirtatious-looking middle-aged woman said sorrowfully, "Let's listen to your father and the big madam. As long as we're alive, the Lu family will still have hope." She was the Lu family's second madam, He Daimei, and she was hugging a terrified little girl. "Yes. As long as we're alive, we'll have a chance. When the time comes, it won't be too late to take revenge. There's no point in dying for nothing," a valiant-looking middle-aged woman said earnestly. She was the Lu family's third madam, Shi Yali. Next to her was a weak-looking middle-aged woman who continuously cried as she hugged a baby boy. She did not say anything, and she was the Lu family's fourth madam, Luowali. There were also some Lu family's guards and servants gathered around them, looking incredibly terrified. Some of them had bloodstains on their bodies, and they were waiting for the Lu family's leader to make a decision. They naturally did not want to die. "I'll let you go now. You better hurry, or else you'll all die here," the savage-looking elder said impatiently. Lu Zhongmen immediately had everyone flee to the side and stayed behind by himself. The fierce-looking old man was afraid that someone would take the void mirror away, so he called out, "Take out the void mirror and let me have a look." Lu Zhongmen understood the savage-looking elder's intentions and took out a beautiful crystal mirror. It was 30 centimeters wide and had cloud patterns carved into it. The surface of the mirror was extremely smooth and looked quite simple and unadorned. It gave off an aura of nothingness. The fierce-looking old man gave a satisfied smile and stretched out his hand as he said, "Then give me the mirror now." Lu Zhongmen refused. "The Lu family's people haven't gone far yet. I can't give them to you." A trace of disdain appeared on the savage-looking elder's face. Suddenly, a person shot out from beside Lu Zhongmen and a dagger pierced through Lu Zhongmen's heart. Lu Zhongmen died with a look of shock on his face. From the very beginning, The vicious old man had ordered people to sneak over and kill Lu Zhongmen. He had no intention of letting the Lu family off, so he immediately ordered people to chase after them and kill everyone in the Lu family. Those people quickly surrounded the Lu family. When the Lu family found out that Lu Zhongmen had died, their faces were filled with rage and hatred. However, it was evident that the Lu family was not a match for those people. As the two sides fought, the Lu family continuously died, and it seemed that the Lu family was about to be destroyed. Massive auras descended, and Zhao Fu followed the command medallion and brought the women here, just in time to see this scene. Sensing the power of Zhao Fu's group, the Lu family's people looked terrified and did not dare to move at all. After all, they at most had Saint Realm cultivation, while Zhao Fu's side had 2 Emperor Heaven Realm experts. The virtuous big Madame Zhang Qingli immediately begged, "Sirs, please save us. Please save us. These evil people are here to destroy our Lu family." Zhao Fu's gaze fell on the mature big madam and asked, "Do you know where Mo Qingyue is?" The Lu family's people did their best to think, because they might be able to survive. However, they could not think of anything and could only shake their heads. Zhao Fu looked quite confused. The command medallion had led him here, so how could Mo Qingyue not be here? After thinking about it, Zhao Fu asked, "Have you seen a mirror?" Hearing this, the second young master cried out in delight, "Our family has a mirror like that, and these people came to destroy our Lu family to steal our mirror. It's said that this mirror can open a massive treasure trove. It's been passed down for a long time." A trace of a smile appeared on Zhao Fu's face, and he understood that he had found what he wanted. He looked at everyone and said softly, "Kill everyone apart from the Lu family's people." The women obeyed and flew to the ground and started to kill those people. The Lu family's people all let out sighs of relief. The savage-looking elder had wanted to see if the rest of the Lu family's people had been killed, but when he saw this scene, his expression fell and he immediately tried to run. However, Zhao Fu chopped off his head and killed him on the spot. After the savage-looking elder died, the Lu family's people all looked delighted because they had taken revenge. The second young master called out, "That mirror was on him." Hearing this, Zhao Fu took the savage-looking elder's spatial ring and took the mirror. This was most likely the void mirror that Zhao Fu had been looking for. However, didn't he need to find Mo Qingyue to obtain this mirror? Zhao Fu felt quite confused and looked at the 4 beautiful women as he smiled and said, "Come with me, I have some things to ask you." The 4 beautiful women did not know what Zhao Fu wanted, but under Zhao Fu's might, they obediently followed Zhao Fu and entered a room on the side. The second young master looked furious and tightly clenched his fists because intense sounds could be heard from within the room, as well as the 4 women's lewd cries. The second young master let out a sigh of relief. Since that major figure had toyed with his mother and 3 of his father's wives, he would not harm them. Instead, they would be able to obtain some benefits from that major figure. After doing it, Zhao Fu looked at the big madam in his arms and asked, "Do you really not know who Mo Qingyue is? Also, when did the Lu family pass down this mirror?" The big madam's face was red as she panted as she replied, "Sir, we really don't know. The mirror seems to have been in the Lu family's hands since a long time ago, and we don't know who Mo Qingyue is." Chapter 1499. Zhao Fu thought about it and took out the command medallion. The command medallion immediately turned into a ray of light and fused into the mirror, and a violet crescent appeared on the mirror. Zhao Fu tested it and found that it could be used, causing him to smile. The 4 beautiful women on the bed were quite shocked. They had never thought that Zhao Fu would be able to use this mirror that had been passed down in the Lu family for generations. However, thinking about how he had come for this, he definitely had a way to deal with it. Zhao Fu got up and put on his clothes. Since the mirror could be used, he could now open the historical remnant. As for Mo Qingyue, Zhao Fu did not want to investigate any further, as he could not figure out what was going on. "Sir," After taking 4 of our bodies, are you going to leave just like that? The valiant-looking third madam said uncomfortably as she watched Zhao Fu leave after playing with their bodies. The flirtatious-looking second madam felt quite startled. Zhao Fu had saved them, so it was only right for them to repay him with their bodies. If they accidentally made Zhao Fu angry, they could all die. Sir, our third sister is immature, please forgive us. We were fortunate enough to serve Sir. How could we ask Sir to take responsibility? Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he said, I'll take the 4 of you with me, and I'll make arrangements for everyone else. I'll even leave some good things in the Liu family, there's no need for you to worry. A happy smile appeared on the fourth madam's face as she said, Thank you, sir. Zhao Fu lightly nodded and opened the door. The women outside had already killed all of the people who had attacked the Liu family, and with them acting, Zhao Fu was quite free and did not have to do anything. Only one person could enter this historical remnant, so the women could only stay here and wait for Zhao Fu to come out. Zhao Fu made some simple preparations. Now that he had gathered the 12 evil flower emissaries, he was only missing 2 evil flower demons. If he could obtain powerful demonic creatures from the historical remnant, he would be able to create the remaining 2 evil flower demons, and when that time came, he might be able to awaken the supreme demon race Emperor Star. Zhao Fu reminded the women that if they felt that something was off, they should leave first because they did not know what sort of terrifying ripples it would cause. Hearing that Zhao Fu might really be able to awaken the demon race's Emperor Star, the women looked in disbelief because this was simply impossible. However, seeing how serious Zhao Fu was, they nodded and agreed. Zhao Fu came to an empty area and took out the void mirror. He pointed it at the sky and sent in a trace of power, causing a rainbow-colored ray of light to shoot into the sky. Boom! An explosion sounded out as the rainbow-colored ray of light shot into the sky, sending out ripples. A massive and simple stone door giving off a massive aura slowly appeared. Zhao Fu sent some more power into the mirror, causing it to slightly tremble. It once again shot out a rainbow-colored ray of light, which hit the massive stone doors. The stone doors gave off a massive sound and slowly opened, and waves of ancient demonic qi flowed out, causing the surrounding temperature to plummet. Looking at the women around him, Zhao Fu told them not to worry, and he turned into a ray of light and entered the doors. After entering the doors, there was a black sun in the sky and countless traces of demonic qi in the surroundings. The light was dim, and there were pairs of blood-red eyes everywhere. They were terrifying demonic beasts, including pythons that were hundreds of meters long, demonic bears that were as big as small mountains, and demons that were hundreds of meters tall. Seeing Zhao Fu appear, these demonic beasts roared and ferociously attacked at Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu felt quite disdainful. He needed a large amount of blood and flesh to transform into evil flower demons, so he sent out 10 evil flower demons. The 10 3,000-meter-tall evil flower demons gave off terrifying auras as they excitedly and savagely attacked the incoming demonic beast. The dragon-shaped evil flower demons swam about in the sky and opened their mouths as they sucked, causing the demonic beasts on the ground to flow into their mouths. From a distance, they formed a black pillar that continuously sucked in demonic beasts. The long-armed evil flower demon's 2 arms quickly shot out, and its 2 palms turned into massive mouths that were incredibly fast. Nothing could stop these hands, as everything was devoured by them. The tree-shaped evil flower demon's feet fused into the ground, and its roots shot out from the ground and pierced through the demonic beasts' bodies. The roots devoured the demonic beasts' flesh and blood, and the demonic beasts quickly withered. Zhao Fu stood in the sky and watched as the 10 evil flower demons slaughtered. Pained cries continuously sounded out as blood flew everywhere and limbs flew everywhere. The large numbers of demonic beasts were devoured by the 10 evil flower demons. Moreover, with so many demonic beasts, they were easily devoured by the evil flower demons. If the 10 evil flower demons did not stop them, they would be able to devour without end and would not be able to explode. SSS. A long hiss sounded out as a massive stench rushed out. A 10,000-meter-long five-headed demon snake had appeared and opened its 5 massive mouths as it bit towards Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu immediately retreated because he could not use his nation armament here. Facing such a massive demon, Zhao Fu could not face it head-on. Zhao Fu controlled the 10 evil flower demons to ferociously leap over, and a few of them blocked in front of Zhao Fu. The 5 snake mouths bit onto the evil flower demons' bodies, causing them to look pained before madly biting at the demon snake. The other evil flower demons leapt at the demon snake from different directions, and their fanged mouths bit at the demon snake's body, tearing off large pieces of flesh. The demon snake hissed in pain, and its massive body continuously twisted, wanting to send the evil flower demons flying. However, the demon snake's heads were tightly wrapped around by a few evil flower demons, continuously tearing at it. The other evil flower demons leapt onto the demon snake's body and tightly pressed down on it, eating large mouthfuls of the demon snake's flesh. In the end, the demon snake was bitten to death by the 10 evil flower demons, and it looked incredibly wretched. There were bite marks all over its body, and it died in extreme pain. The 10 evil flower demons continued to eat the demon snake's corpse, and Zhao Fu came to where the 5 heads were and vigorously slashed out. The demon snake's body was split open, and a fist-sized demon orb with a small snake coiled around it flew out. This was a powerful treasure that the demon snake had nurtured, and it was called the demon snake orb. Zhao Fu grabbed the demon snake orb and fused it into his body, and he looked incredibly pained as demonic qi continuously flowed out of his body. The demonic qi continuously flowed out and condensed, forming a terrifying monster. The monster looked the same as the demonic snake from before, but each of its heads had a long horn, and its mouths were filled with fangs. Furthermore, there were pale white bone spikes growing out of the snake's back, making it look extremely terrifying. Chapter 1500. Bringing the 11 evil flower demons, Zhao Fu came to the entrance to the first level. The demon snake had been in charge of defending this place, but now that it had been killed, there was naturally nothing left to guard, and there was no danger. There was a stone stage here that was 9 meters wide and 8 meters tall. There was a rhombus-shaped black crystal on it that gave off a faint demonic light, and there seemed to be a demonic soul within it. Zhao Fu looked at it and looked quite delighted because this black crystal was called an ancient demon stone. It contained powerful ancient demon power and could summon a large number of ancient demon stones. However, Zhao Fu planned to fuse it with Emo Qianma's 10,000 demon lake. That way, the 10,000 demon lake would have ancient demon power and ancient demon bloodline. That way, he would be able to create a large number of ancient demon stones. Zhao Fu smiled as he put it away and headed to the second level. On the second level, Zhao Fu felt quite surprised because the ground was covered with evil spirit abyss flowers, looking like a black sea of flowers. They were all 30 centimeters tall and had pale branches and a few leaves. The black flowers at the top were roses, and there were pictures of witches dancing on each petal, giving off bewitching demonic power. If ordinary people came here, the evil spirit abyss flowers would turn into strange devouring flowers and grow teeth, madly attacking those who came in. However, Zhao Fu had the evil spirit abyss flower ancestors' power, so facing Zhao Fu, the evil spirit abyss flowers would not attack him. Instead, they would feel fear and submit. If he could absorb such a large number of evil spirit abyss flowers, his evil spirit abyss flowers' power would rise to a whole new level. Thinking about that, Zhao Fu released a large amount of demonic qi. His pupils disappeared and a pair of black, rose-like eyes appeared, and Zhao Fu's aura became different. It became dark, evil, and slightly devilish. The demonic qi that flowed out from Zhao Fu's body spread out, and the evil spirit abyss flowers that were covered by the demonic qi quickly withered as their life force and power were absorbed by Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu could clearly sense that the evil spirit abyss flowers were becoming stronger, and this power was increasing his cultivation and his constitution. Because Zhao Fu already had a divine bloodline constitution, the increase was quite small. All the way forward, more and more demonic qi flowed out of Zhao Fu's body and spread out in all directions. The evil spirit abyss flowers withered as Zhao Fu's power continuously increased. Roar! The evil flower spirits did not want to be devoured by Zhao Fu, and even though they feared Zhao Fu's flower ancestors' power, they still resisted and attacked Zhao Fu. These evil flower devils were quite special. They had the muscular bodies of men and were 3 meters tall. They were pale white and their hands and feet were like root. They did not have heads and only had black rose-like flowers that gave off evil demonic qi. What Zhao Fu could not accept was that the evil spirit abyss flowers' genitals were exposed, and they were not small. Facing these evil flower devils, Zhao Fu felt quite disgusted. He stretched out a hand and the surrounding demonic qi quickly gathered towards Zhao Fu, forming thousands of mist spears. Each spear was 3 meters long. Zhao Fu stretched out his hand and pushed hard. Swish, 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 the mist spears gave off ferocious power as they shot out, piercing through the evil flower devils' bodies. They gave pained cries as their bodies withered, and their life force and power seemed to be devoured by the mist spears. After devouring the evil flower devils, the mist spears turned into demonic qi and flowed out, continuing to devour other evil spirit abyss flowers. The evil flower devils were unwilling to give up and continued to attack Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu was expressionless as he controlled the demonic qi around him to form spears, continuously killing the evil flower devils. Roar! 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 As Zhao Fu went deeper into the sea of flowers, even louder roars sounded out as 10-meter-tall evil flower devils gave off powerful auras and rushed at Zhao Fu. The demonic qi that Zhao Fu gave off covered the surrounding 100,000 meters, and as the evil flower devils rushed in, their bodies gave off faint demonic light, making the devouring effect of the demonic qi much weaker. They were quite fast and were about to reach Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu once again stretched out his hand and grabbed at the air towards the incoming evil spirit and devil spirit. Countless traces of fog gathered, forming a massive hand that grabbed the incoming evil spirit and devil flower spirits. Zhao Fu stretched out his hand and gripped, and the fog hand also gripped, causing the evil flower spirits to cry out in pain. Their bodies withered as their life force was quickly devoured by the fog hand. The evil flower devils begged for mercy, but Zhao Fu ignored them. Zhao Fu needed to devour them and would not let them off. In the end, the evil flower devils became dried-up corpses, looking incredibly terrifying. The mist hands turned back into demonic qi and gathered below before rushing towards the countless ordinary evil spirit abyss flowers. After killing the 10-meter-tall evil flower devils, black pearls fell out of their corpses. The pearls were as big as lychees and looked like meatballs. Zhao Fu looked at it and found that it was an evil spirit flower pearl. It had many uses. It could control people, it had aphrodisiac effects, it could be used as a poison, and it could cause people to hallucinate. Zhao Fu was not interested in these pearls at all, so he casually collected some before continuing onwards. More and more demonic qi flowed out of Zhao Fu's body, and the area it covered became larger and larger. The evil spirit abyss flower's power within Zhao Fu's body also became stronger and stronger. Roar! The ground started to tremble as an evil flower demon that was hundreds of meters tall sensed immense danger and dug its way out of the ground. It gave a massive roar and gave off a terrifying demonic qi as it charged at Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu disdainfully laughed and grabbed at the air. The surrounding demonic qi continuously gathered, forming a massive mist sword that was 100 meters long. Boom! Facing the incoming evil flower devil, Zhao Fu vigorously slashed out. The massive mist sword gave off a ferocious sword wind as it sent the evil flower devil flying hundreds of meters. The evil flower devil crashed to the ground with a massive gash on its chest and died on the spot. Zhao Fu grabbed at the air and countless traces of demonic qi flowed towards the evil flower devil, covering its body and devouring its power. Following this, Zhao Fu did not continue onwards and instead continuously released demonic qi to devour the evil spirit abyss flowers and evil flower devil's life force and power. Only after devouring all of the evil spirit abyss flowers and evil flower devils did he continue onwards. After killing many evil flower devils that were hundreds of meters tall, he finally reached the end of the second stage. There was a 10,000-meter tall evil flower devil that gave off terrifying power. Chapter 1501. This evil flower spirit was not easy to deal with, and it was far more powerful than Zhao Fu. The evil flower spirit discovered Zhao Fu and waved its hand, sending out 5 black arcs of light that ferociously slashed towards Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu immediately gathered countless traces of demonic qi in front of him, forming a massive ball of mist that contained massive power, wanting to block the evil flower spirit's attack. Boom! The massive ball of mist was destroyed by the 5 arcs of light, and the massive power sent Zhao Fu flying back. He crashed to the ground and a trace of blood flowed out of his mouth. The evil flower spirit stretched out its hands towards Zhao Fu, and sharp white wooden spikes grew out of its palms and shot out with ferocious power. Zhao Fu immediately thought of a way to deal with this, and he summoned 11 evil flower demons. However, Zhao Fu did not have the evil flower demons attack or defend, and they instead fused together with the 11 evil flower demons. The 11 6,000-meter-tall evil flower demons flooded into Zhao Fu's body, and a terrifying aura spread out from Zhao Fu's body. Zhao Fu's black hair became scarlet red, and his hands became sharp claws. His fingernails became blood red, and his lips became black as fangs grew out of his mouth. His eyes were still the same, and they were like black flowers. His aura gave off an evil and ferocious aura, as well as a trace of seductiveness. Countless wooden spikes shot over with terrifying power, and Zhao Fu stretched out a hand. A massive black flower gave off a faint demonic light and bloomed beautifully. The incoming wooden spikes were all blocked by the black flower, and some hit the area next to Zhao Fu, resulting in muffled explosions. The ground there was cracked, and it could be seen how powerful the wooden spikes were. After blocking this wave of attacks, Zhao Fu stretched out his other arm and grabbed out. Countless black flower petals floated down and gathered in Zhao Fu's hand, forming a flower sword formed from flowers. Boom! Zhao Fu vigorously slashed out with the flower sword, and an enormous black sword light slashed out towards the evil flower spirit. It was incredibly fast, and before the evil flower spirit could react, it was hit by Zhao Fu. Roar! A pained cry sounded out as Zhao Fu had attacked the thing between the evil flower devil's legs, and he had cut it off with a single strike. That thing fell to the ground and moved, and blood spurted out of the evil flower devil's wound like a pillar of blood. Zhao Fu took this opportunity to fly into the sky and came before the evil flower devil. He ferociously slashed down with his sword, and a massive sword light containing terrifying power blasted the evil flower devil back as if it could split apart a mountain. Roar! The evil flower spirit crashed to the ground, and a bloody gash appeared on its chest, from which blood continuously flowed out. The evil flower spirit desperately attacked Zhao Fu. The black flower on its neck gave off a dark and evil power as it shot out incredibly quickly, bringing with it rays of light as it shot towards Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu continuously swung the flower sword in his hand, sending out arcs of light that destroyed the incoming flower petals. The shattered flower petals fell like rain, and it was as if it was raining petals, creating a beautiful scene. After blocking this wave of attacks, Zhao Fu rushed up and his flower sword gave off an intense sword light as he vigorously stabbed towards the evil flower spirit's heart. The the massive black sword light gave off terrifying power as it shot out, seeming to be able to destroy everything. It quickly pierced through the evil flower spirit's heart, causing its flesh to split open and blood to fly everywhere. The evil flower devil howled, and its body spasmed a few times in unwillingness before it finally stopped dying. Zhao Fu gave a trace of a smile and dispelled the evil flower demon's power. He waved his hand and countless traces of demonic chi flowed towards the evil flower spirit's corpse, devouring its power. The evil flower spirit dropped 3 items. The first was an evil flower pearl, which was 1 meter wide. It was incredibly powerful, and it would be able to greatly affect Emperor Heaven Realm experts. Zhao Fu felt that it would be very useful, so he put it away. The second item was a droplet-shaped seed that was as big as a palm and had a demon woman's picture on it. It was an evil flower devil king seed, and it could nurture evil flower devil kings, which were like the evil flower spirits that Zhao Fu had just fought. Thinking about a group of naked men running around, Zhao Fu felt a chill in his heart. He definitely did not want to nurture this kind of flower devil. The third item was a small red flower that was 3 centimeters wide. It looked like a camellia and gave off a faint floral fragrance, looking quite enchanting. This flower was called the woman transformation flower, and it could turn a man into a woman. If one took off the flower, they would turn back. Zhao Fu felt that it was useless, as he could not become a woman. After putting away the 3 items, Zhao Fu walked to the second-level stage. There was a wooden box there, and Zhao Fu went up and opened it. A pale, oval-shaped seed appeared in front of Zhao Fu's eyes. This was an evil spirit abyss flower seed, and Zhao Fu was not too surprised. He had long since expected this, as this region was filled with evil spirit abyss flowers. Zhao Fu continued onwards to the 3rd level. The 3rd level was a battlefield. The sky was blood-red and there was an austere aura around it. Anyone who was here would feel a chill throughout their body and their hairs would stand on end, and they would feel a trace of terror. Just as Zhao Fu entered, a group of soldiers wearing black armor and holding black weapons, giving off a darkness aura, started to attack Zhao Fu. There were millions of soldiers in this group, and all of them had stage 6 or stage 7 strength. They had already formed a formation and rushed at Zhao Fu. Swish, 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 arrows containing immense power drew out arcs in the air and tore through the air as they descended like rain. Zhao Fu was not careless and immediately summoned the 11 evil flower demons to block in front of him. They gave off a formless energy barrier that blocked the countless arrows. Roar, roar, roar. The 11 evil flower demons gave off massive roars as they looked savage and gave off powerful auras as they charged at the incoming darkness soldiers. The hundreds of thousands of darkness soldiers all gave off their own power as traces of darkness aura flowed out of their bodies and gathered above their heads, forming a massive darkness barrier that gave off an incredibly sturdy aura. The 6,000-meter-tall evil flower demon gave off a terrifying aura as it slammed into the darkness barrier. What was quite surprising was that the evil flower demon's voidification ability did not work on this darkness barrier. Otherwise, the evil flower demon would have been able to directly enter the barrier and not smash into it. Chapter 1502. The darkness soldiers unleashed all sorts of attacks. Some used arrows, which shot towards the evil flower demons, while others slashed out terrifying saber lights and stabbed out sharp spear lights. There were also sharp sword lights that continuously attacked the evil flower demons. However, the evil flower demons each gave off a formless domain that ignored all of these attacks. This was because any power that entered the domain would be devoured by the domain, making it very difficult to attack the evil flower demons. Bang! The defensive barrier quickly shattered, and the 11 evil flower demons ferociously leapt in and devoured the darkness soldiers. Countless howls sounded out as blood flew everywhere and limbs flew everywhere. The darkness soldiers continuously died, and the ground was dyed red with blood. The millions of darkness soldiers were unable to withstand the 11 evil flower demons devouring them. Soon, the millions of darkness soldiers had been devoured by the evil flower demons, and only a small number had escaped. Zhao Fu led the 11 evil flower demons onwards and soon encountered another army. There were a few million of them, and they were dressed in black armor and gave off powerful auras. What was different about this army was that there was a tall young man at the center who was the commander. Zhao Fu ordered the 11 evil flower demons to attack, and they savagely leapt at the massive army and ferociously attacked. As for Zhao Fu, he set his sights on that commander. Just like last time, the darkness army faced the 11 6,000-meter-tall evil flower demons and first activated their defensive barriers to defend against the evil flower demons' attack. As for the evil flower demons, they opened their mouths and exploded out with a suction force, continuously devouring the defensive barrier's power. The defensive barrier's power became weaker and weaker, and soon, the defensive barrier was shattered. At that moment, the cross-shaped pupil in Zhao Fu's right eye quickly spun and chains shot out from the ground towards the commander. The commander was given a big fright and rode on a black horse as it quickly galloped forwards, wanting to dodge the countless chains shooting towards him. However, chains continuously shot out, and the black horse under him was the first to be bound by the chains. He flew into the air, and after breaking a few chains, he was also bound. The chains that bound the commander suddenly pulled, pulling him into the sealed space underground. Zhao Fu also entered the sealed space and looked at the commander as he said, "Will you submit to me? I also want to know more about this place." The commander struggled against the chains and looked angrily at Zhao Fu. He did not say anything and looked very unyielding. Zhao Fu frowned. Previously, when Zhao Fu had spoken, the commander had ignored Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu had released countless lightning bolts to strike the commander, but the commander had not given in. Seeing that there was no way to subdue him, Zhao Fu's expression turned cold. He waved his hand and cut off the commander's head. Then, he checked the commander's belongings and found a command medallion. This command medallion seemed to be made of jade and had black flood dragon inscriptions on it. There were also some words that Zhao Fu did not recognize on it, and it gave off a pure darkness aura. Zhao Fu looked at this command medallion and found that it could subdue 1,000 darkness soldiers. He could also put them into the space within the command medallion and summon them out to fight at any time. The command medallion felt quite good, but it could only subdue 1,000 darkness soldiers, which was not enough. With Zhao Fu's strength, it was not enough, and he felt that it was quite useless. After coming out of the sealed space, the 11 evil flower demons had finished devouring the soldiers, and the ground was covered with blood and limbs. In the next 2 days, Zhao Fu led the evil flower demons to devour darkness soldiers, and they gradually reached the end of the 3rd level. During those 2 days, the evil flower demons devoured countless darkness soldiers, and Zhao Fu obtained 50 or so darkness command medallions. Each of the darkness command medallions had subdued 1,000 darkness soldiers and put them into the command medallion. At the end of the 3rd level, there were hundreds of millions of soldiers gathered here. With such a massive army of Stage 6 and Stage 7 soldiers, Zhao Fu did not dare to let the evil flower demons charge in. There was a commander in the army, and he was a dignified-looking middle-aged man. Zhao Fu once again used his assassin profession's abilities, and he held an assassin's sword as he slowly snuck into the army. There were many tents here, and there were soldiers standing guard outside. There were also groups of soldiers patrolling inside, and Zhao Fu could already hide in nothingness. Adding on the assassin's sword's power, he easily snuck in and reached the commander's tent. The sound of a man panting could be heard, causing Zhao Fu to feel quite startled. He snuck in to take a look and found that the commander, the dignified-looking middle-aged man, was doing something to a handsome-looking man. The dignified-looking middle-aged man looked incredibly excited, and the handsome-looking man's face was red as he moaned in pleasure. Zhao Fu silently waited nearby. This commander's aura was not weak at all, and even though he felt quite speechless at what they were doing, in order to find an opportunity to act, Zhao Fu could only obediently wait. Suddenly, seeing that the middle-aged man was at his happiest, Zhao Fu slashed out, and a sharp sword light containing terrifying power slashed towards the middle-aged man. The middle-aged man's expression fell, and before he could react, his head was lopped off by Zhao Fu's sword. The man below him screamed and tried to run away, but Zhao Fu chased after him and stabbed his sword through his chest. By now, the soldiers in the surroundings had heard the commotion and quickly hurried over. Zhao Fu immediately snuck into nothingness and quickly escaped, and he left behind 10 or so destruction crystals. Boom! 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 Massive explosions sounded out as destructive light devoured everything. The ground continuously cracked and collapsed, and massive shockwaves blasted out. The soldiers within the shockwaves were blasted into countless chunks of flesh. The entire base was thrown into chaos, and only now did Zhao Fu release the evil flower demons. The 11 evil flower demons unleashed their full power and opened their mouths as they madly devoured. Countless soldiers' bodies flooded into the evil flower demon's mouth. A few hours later, Zhao Fu finished dealing with these soldiers. Most of them had been devoured by the evil flower demons, and many soldiers had escaped. The scene was incredibly bloody and nauseating. Zhao Fu did not bother with the escaping soldiers and went to the 3rd level stage. There was a rhombus-shaped black crystal there that gave off a darkness godly spirit's aura. Zhao Fu looked at it and found that this crystal was indeed a divinity. It was a pure darkness divinity, and it did not seem weak at all. Zhao Fu did not plan to devour this darkness divinity, and instead planned to nurture Qin's godly spirit. He already had the evil flower demons, so devouring this divinity would not be very useful. Moreover, Zhao Fu wanted to expand his godly spirit army. Chapter 1503. The 4th level was a body of water. The water was black and gave off dense demonic qi, and there were many demonic beasts in the water. They were all aquatic creatures, and they were quite big. The smallest was 7 or 8 meters long. With so many creatures, Zhao Fu once again released 11 evil flower demons to devour them. They continued to eat until they reached the end of the 5th level, obtaining large amounts of flesh and blood. At the end of the 5th level, there was a stage that was built on the water and was protected by a barrier. There was a 10,000-meter tall merman standing guard. This merman had a fish's head and a human's body. Its body was black and it held a harpoon, and it gave off a terrifying aura. Zhao Fu led the 11 evil flower demons and did not show any fear as they went up and surrounded this merman. Following this, the merman once again attacked from all sides. The merman swung its harpoon and a formless energy spread out, causing the surrounding water to gather into a massive wave that rushed towards the evil flower demons. The evil flower demons' bodies became illusory, and they passed through the massive wave before opening their mouths and biting towards the merman. The merman looked quite startled and sent power into its harpoon, causing it to give off an intense light and a terrifying aura. Boom! The merman vigorously stabbed out, and the massive harpoon gave off light and terrifying power as it stabbed out. An explosion sounded out as the harpoon stabbed into an illusory evil flower demon's body. The evil flower demon roared in pain and tightly gripped the harpoon in its body. The other evil flower demons quickly leapt at the merman, and the merman's expression was quite unsightly as it tried to pull out the harpoon, but it was unable to. Facing the incoming evil flower demons, it could only use its fist. The merman gripped its fists and gave off boundless light as it punched out, sending an evil flower demon flying. It then turned and punched out again, sending another evil flower demon flying into the water. However, a long-armed evil flower demon flung out its hands, which turned into 2 large mouths that bit onto the merman's legs. Its massive teeth sank into the flesh, causing the merman to howl in pain. The headless evil flower demon grasped this opportunity and leapt onto the merman's back. The large mouth on its stomach bit towards the merman's back, causing blood to fly everywhere as a large piece of flesh was bitten off. A dragon-shaped evil flower demon quickly leapt over and opened its mouth, vigorously biting one of the merman's arms. An elderly evil flower demon leapt over and bit the other arm. The 5-headed evil flower demon quickly stretched out its 5 heads, leaving behind 5 afterimages as it bit towards the merman's head. By now, the fish person's legs, hands, and back had all been bitten by the evil flower demons, so she was unable to dodge the snakehead's attacks. Her head was bitten by the 5 snakeheads, causing blood to flow. Even more evil flower demons leapt over and bit at the merfolk's bodies. Pained cries sounded out as the merfolk's flesh was continuously torn off, making them look incredibly gory. In the end, the merman was bitten to death by the evil flower demons, and its body was devoured by them. Zhao Fu obtained a merman pearl, which seemed to be made of jade. It was as big as a fist and gave off a faint demonic light. The merman had a demonic attribute, and the merman pearl contained powerful demonic energy that could help Zhao Fu create the final evil flower demon. However, Zhao Fu did not plan on devouring the merman pearl yet, as Zhao Fu had not finished exploring the historical remnant yet. Zhao Fu went to the stage, and after the merman died, the barrier on the stage had disappeared. Zhao Fu went up and saw that it was a ball of liquid, and it seemed to have its own consciousness. It was a deep blue liquid. Zhao Fu looked at this item's information and found that it was called water race spirit blood. It was the blood left behind by an extremely powerful water race creature, and it had powerful spirituality. This ball of blood was even more terrifying. It already had its own consciousness and formed a blood spirit. If Zhao Fu could fuse with it, it would bring great benefits to his body, allowing him to breathe underwater and obtain a water spirit constitution. His affinity with water elemental essence would be extremely high, and he would also have the power to control water. Most importantly, it would also give his bloodline some spirituality, which would greatly strengthen it. Seeing this, Zhao Fu did not hesitate to open his mouth and suck in the ball of water race spirit blood before starting to refine it. Zhao Fu's body gave off a deep blue light, and the surrounding water elemental essence quickly gathered and flowed into Zhao Fu's body. A water spirit's aura spread out from Zhao Fu's body. After a while, Zhao Fu opened his eyes, which shined with blue light. Zhao Fu's hair became a faint blue and he looked incredibly lively, as if he was a member of the water race, and he gave off a powerful water race aura. This state gradually disappeared, and Zhao Fu returned to normal. He gave a satisfied smile and headed towards the 5th level. The 5th level was a maze, and there were gray steel walls everywhere. There were runes on them, and they were very difficult to break. Even though the walls were 10 meters tall, they could not be flown. Moreover, even if Zhao Fu released the evil flower demons, they would be suppressed to 10 meters tall. Moreover, they could not exceed the height of the walls. If the evil flower demons jumped or stacked on top of each other, they would definitely exceed the height of the walls, allowing them to see further. This would allow them to avoid taking too many detours. However, this was not enough either. Once they went more than 10 meters, a ray of white light would slash past, and anything that was more than 10 meters tall would be cut in half. This was not a problem for Zhao Fu, and he continued to have the evil flower demons jump as he looked around. Even though the evil flower demons would be cut in half every time they jumped, they could be condensed again. This was because this was Zhao Fu's main body, and as long as Zhao Fu was fine, the evil flower demons could continuously condense again. Through this method, it was much easier for Zhao Fu to traverse the maze. There were also specters within the maze that wore white clothes and could not be seen clearly. They floated in the air. This type of specter was quite terrifying, and it had powerful illusionary abilities. Anyone who was looked at by it would fall into an illusion. Zhao Fu had a divine bloodline and divine sense, so he was immune to some illusions. However, the illusions created by powerful specters were not something that Zhao Fu was immune to. For example, when Zhao Fu walked into the depths of the 5th level, he fell into an illusion. The ground seemed to be covered with spikes, and he was standing on the ground. His body was pierced by countless spikes, and blood continuously flowed out. After a while, he felt as if he had fallen into a sea of flames. His body was being roasted by countless flames, and this feeling was quite painful. Zhao Fu directly activated Celestial Mode to become immune to these illusions. After the illusions disappeared, Zhao Fu appeared in an empty area. There was a stage in front of him, and there was a sword stabbed into it. Chapter 1504. Just as Zhao Fu was about to go up and take a look, a white mist flowed out of the sword, turning into a beautiful woman with jet black hair and wearing a white dress. She bowed to Zhao Fu and softly called out, "Owner?" Hearing this, Zhao Fu gave a trace of a smile and lightly nodded. This sword was the reward for the 5th level, and after passing through her illusion, Zhao Fu had naturally become her owner. Zhao Fu drew the sword and found that it was called the Illusion Fish Sword, which had powerful illusions. It could drag people into an illusion, and the injuries suffered in the illusion could be reflected in the real world. This ability was quite terrifying. Zhao Fu drew the sword out of the Illusion Fish Sword and found that it contained powerful illusions. Zhao Fu asked her about the situation here, but she shook her head and did not know. As such, Zhao Fu put her into the sword mark and continued to the 6th level. The 6th level was covered with white mist, making it impossible to see anything. Zhao Fu did not know why, but he directly passed through the 6th level and came to the 7th level. There was nothing in the 7th level apart from a 10,000-meter tall altar that reached into the clouds. It gave off a boundless aura, and the aura it gave off was incredibly ancient, as if it had existed for countless years. As Zhao Fu walked forwards, a massive energy weighed down on Zhao Fu's body, causing Zhao Fu's body to sink. However, after sensing the divine bloodline within Zhao Fu's body, the energy dissipated, and Zhao Fu easily arrived at the top of the altar. At the center of the altar was a 5-colored stone that was as big as an egg. It was irregularly shaped and seemed to be made of crystal, and it gave off 5 different lights. Zhao Fu felt that this 5-colored stone gave off an extraordinary aura, and he felt incredibly curious. He went up and looked at the 5-colored stone's information, and a look of shock appeared on his face. This 5-colored stone was definitely a supreme treasure. After all, this 5-colored stone could form a world's consciousness into a new life form, which was something that no other item could do. Zhao Fu happily smiled. If he took this back to the human world to use, the human world's consciousness would no longer be a simple consciousness but a new life form that would control a world's source energy. After putting away the 5-colored stone, Zhao Fu looked around and found that there was nothing else. Now was the time to transform into the final evil flower demon and activate the evil flower bewitching world. Zhao Fu sat at the center of the altar and fused the mermaid pearl into his body, causing a massive wave of demonic energy to gush out. This wave of demonic qi continuously changed and condensed into a 3-meter-tall merman. This merman had a pair of blood-red eyes and a mouth full of fangs. It also had 2 bone horns and its hands were like sharp claws. There were fins on its back, and it gave off a powerful aura. After creating this evil flower demon, Zhao Fu let out a breath. Now that he had created 12 evil flower demons and the evil spirit abyss flower had reached its final stage, the most important part was now. The evil merman flower demon dissipated into demonic qi. Zhao Fu laid down on the altar and slowly closed his eyes. Outside the historical remnant, a large amount of demonic qi suddenly gathered, causing the weather to change. Clouds swirled and the sun and moon dimmed as a formless and dangerous aura spread out like a heaven-toppling flood. In an instant it spread to 10 worlds away. The countless creatures within felt as if they had fallen into icy water. Their bodies froze and they instinctively felt immense terror. The Liu family's women also sensed this terrifying and dangerous aura, and their expressions fell. They hurriedly went outside and saw the abnormal signs. They remembered what Zhao Fu had said before he left, and they quickly retreated from this place. Yuan Ziyuan looked incredibly shocked. Seeing Zhao Fu release such a massive abnormal sign, she thought about what he had said about awakening the demon race's Emperor Star. Could it be that what Zhao Fu had said was true? Was he really going to awaken the demon race's Emperor Star? Zhao Fu did not seem to have any reason to lie to her. Dimoji also looked incredibly shocked. With her status, she naturally knew how difficult it was to awaken a demon star. As someone from the devil race, did Zhao Fu really have the ability to awaken the demon race's Emperor Star? If he really could awaken the Emperor Stars of two races, she would be willing to become his woman. However, that was almost impossible. Even with her incredibly pure demon race bloodline, she had not succeeded. Could Zhao Fu really do it? Boom! 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 Massive explosions sounded out as heaven-toppling auras spread out, causing the heavens and earth to crack and creating massive gales. Countless rocks were blown into the sky and countless trees were uprooted. 12 monsters that were 10,000 meters tall and had different appearances gave off terrifying auras as they slowly appeared. They appeared at the 12 boundaries of this world, forming a circle that surrounded this world. All creatures in this world felt their bodies stiffen before sinking down as if they had fallen into a bottomless abyss. Their souls fell into boundless darkness. Roar! 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 The 12 monsters raised their heads and gave off massive roars. The sound waves seemed to corporeal as they swept out like lightning, sounding throughout the surrounding hundreds of worlds. Countless clouds were scattered, rocks rolled down from mountains, and countless trees trembled as leaves fell. Hearing these terrifying roars, the people in the nearby worlds felt their hairs stand on end. They did not know why, but they felt a trace of fear. They could sense a dangerous aura coming from the distance, and it seemed that something big was about to happen in that direction. Boom! 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 Countless pale white roots grew out of the 12 monsters' bodies and stabbed into the ground, causing the ground to crack. The monsters' bodies madly grew, becoming taller and taller, and more roots appeared. Some of the roots continued to grow and cover the ground, and they even attacked the countless fleeing magic beasts and humans. They wrapped around their bodies and devoured all of their power, and the bodies of those creatures were absorbed by the roots like water. Because the 12 monsters surrounded the entire world, countless creatures could not escape. They could only howl in despair or hide somewhere and tremble. The demonic chi in the surrounding 1,000 worlds seemed to be summoned by a formless energy and flooded towards this place, forming waves of demonic chi. It was not just the major figures in the surroundings whose expressions fell, feeling that something bad was about to happen. The ordinary people looked at the demonic chi in the sky and felt that something was off. The 12 plants madly grew, and their roots covered the entire world. The plants' branches were tens of millions of meters tall and reached into the sky. They were hundreds of thousands of meters thick and had a few sword-shaped leaves. There was a massive black flower bud at the top that gave off a faint demonic light. Chapter 1505. On the altar, Zhao Fu silently lay there with his eyes closed, and a large amount of demonic chi flowed out from his body. At that moment, Zhao Fu slowly opened his eyes, and his black, rose-like eyes gradually became blood-red. The demonic chi around Zhao Fu's body also became blood-red demonic chi and flowed out, seeming to be absorbed by something before disappearing. The 12 massive plants in the heavens and earth exploded out with a terrifying suction force, forming formless air currents that devoured all energy in the heavens and earth. The heavens and earth seemed to start to die, and the sky seemed to become still and desolate. The ground quickly became a gray-white color and countless plants withered. the countless people hiding within turned into white bones, and the surroundings became deathly silent. All signs of life had disappeared, and there were no longer any living creatures. The 12 massive flowers absorbed the life force of the heavens and earth, and went through massive changes. The massive black flower buds at the top gradually became blood-red. Following this, the flowers slowly opened and beautifully bloomed, giving off a dreamy demonic light and giving off a fragrance that could bewitch countless beings. As the 12 evil spirit abyss flowers bloomed, the sky became blood-red and quickly spread to the 10,000 world. The evil spirit abyss flowers' terrifying and evil aura swept out, and all of the demonic chi in the demon domain gathered in that direction. Within the majestic academy, a few people who had been chatting and laughing sensed this terrifying aura, and their expressions fell. They came 10,000 meters away and looked at the blood-red color in the distance with serious expressions. The place they were at was the famous 9 Hell Demon College, the holy land of the demon domain. The auras that these people gave off were incredibly shocking because they were all higher beings. One of the cold-looking people said seriously, "Is this the evil spirit abyss flower's power? Wasn't the evil spirit abyss flower ancestor sealed? How could it appear again? Moreover, its aura is even more terrifying than last time." Another slightly chubby person said seriously, "This isn't the evil spirit abyss flower ancestor's aura but someone else's aura. It's most likely the evil spirit abyss flower ancestor's legatee. The evil spirit abyss flower ancestor has found a good legatee. The aura that the evil spirit abyss flower ancestor gives off is even stronger than his." There was also a beautiful young woman who said worriedly, "Since this aura is so terrifying, the evil flower bewitching world that he unleashed is most likely even more dangerous than the evil spirit abyss flower ancestor. We should quickly go and have a look, or else once he unleashes it, it will be a catastrophe for the demon domain." A handsome young man with a slender figure chuckled. I'm quite curious who this evil spirit abyss flower ancestor's legatee is. I feel that his aura is quite familiar, but I'm not sure who he is." The cold-looking young man who had been the first to speak agreed. "I want to seal him in the 9 Hell Demon College and research him. I want to see just what the evil spirit abyss flower's demon-eating power is." Everyone nodded and turned into rays of light as they disappeared over the horizon. A cold-looking middle-aged man wearing a demonic dragon robe and giving off a powerful aura stood on a tall and luxurious building. He looked at the blood-red sky and the evil spirit abyss flower ancestor's aura, and he slightly frowned. He was the emperor of the 10 Demon Empire, which was one of the top 3 factions in the demon domain. It was incredibly powerful and terrifying. There were a few ministers standing behind him, and a middle-aged man with a long beard bowed and said, "Your Majesty, after such a long time, the evil spirit abyss flower ancestor's legatee has appeared. After such a long time, the evil spirit abyss flower ancestor's legatee has reappeared. He must be planning to fulfill his oath and destroy the 10 Demon Empire." A valiant-looking young man wearing battle armor said, "Your Majesty, this minister wants all of the Empire's higher beings to move out. We'll definitely kill the evil spirit abyss flower ancestor's legatee, and then head to the human domain's Emperor Path College to kill the evil spirit abyss flower ancestor's main body to prevent any future troubles." A scholarly robed minister also suggested, "This minister also supports General's decision. Back then, the evil spirit abyss flower ancestor had great enmity with the Empire and made an oath to take revenge on the Empire. The evil spirit abyss flower ancestor definitely cannot be left alive." A gloomy-looking elder lightly harumphed, "Do you think His Majesty doesn't know how dangerous this is? If he could kill the evil spirit abyss flower ancestor, he would have long since done so. Do you really think the human domain's Emperor Path College is so easy to deal with? The evil spirit abyss flower ancestor's legatee is giving off terrifying ripples that are even more terrifying than the evil spirit abyss flower ancestors. He most likely inherited all of the evil spirit Abyss Flower Ancestor's power. Right now, the evil spirit Abyss Flower Ancestor is like a piece of trash, so there's no need to worry about him. Hearing this, everyone nodded in agreement. The cold-looking middle-aged man also said coldly, "Then send out 8 higher beings to kill this legatee. However, if you can capture him alive, do your best to capture him alive. I'm going to take his head as a sacrifice to the previous emperor." "Yes, your majesty." Everyone nodded seriously. This time, with 8 higher beings, the evil spirit Abyss Flower Ancestor's legatee would not be able to escape. In a tall and unadorned pavilion, a white-robed, silver-haired old man looked at the sky that was continuously spreading the color of blood. He sighed, "I'm afraid that the demon domain will once again set off a reign of terror. At that time, who knows how many people will die." Next to him, a cute young girl said in confusion, "Grandpa, I don't think so. I don't think so. With the lesson from before, none of the higher beings will just stand by and watch. Now, there are continuously more higher beings heading over. 5 of our factions are going, and we should be able to suppress the evil flower bewitching world." The elder's expression became serious as he shook his head. "I feel that this matter isn't as simple as the evil flower bewitching world. I don't know why, but I feel a sense of fear." The young girl said in disbelief, "No way. Grandpa, even with so many higher beings heading over, they can't stop it?" The elder nodded seriously. "Look at the blood-red sky. Isn't it even more terrifying than what the evil spirit Abyss Flower Ancestor released? The evil spirit Abyss Flower's main body is the world's first evil spirit Abyss Flower, and there's almost nothing that can surpass his power. There's something even more terrifying hidden within that blood-red color." Hearing this, the young girl closed her eyes and sensed it. However, her cultivation was quite low, so she could not sense anything. As such, she was quite skeptical of the elder's words. The elder ignored the young girl and sensed the energy ripples in the sky as he said seriously, "This time, I'm going to personally go and see just what's going on." Just as the elder finished speaking and was about to turn into a ray of light and shoot into the sky, the young girl hurriedly stopped him and said coquettishly, "Grandpa, you can bring me along too." Chapter 1506. A few elders from the Demon Emperor sect and a handsome-looking young man stood on a stage and looked at the blood-red sky with serious expressions. A chubby elder said, "Sect Master, the big miss has also gone missing. I don't know if it has anything to do with this, but I'm worried that the big miss has been captured by the legatee to become an evil flower emissary. With the big miss talent and looks, she's undoubtedly the most suitable woman in the demon domain." Another skinnier elder nodded and said, "I also feel that this is quite a coincidence. If the big miss really is an evil flower emissary, we must interfere, or else the big miss might die together with the evil spirit Abyss Flower Ancestor." A middle-aged man wearing scholarly robes said, "The evil flower bewitching world is such a big matter, and no matter what their goal is, we must go and investigate. If we can stop them, we must. Because the scale of the evil flower bewitching world is so big, it will definitely deal a heavy blow to the demon domain. When that time comes, our faction will fall behind the other domains. Perhaps this is a plot by the human domain." The handsome-looking young man standing at the front was Di Moji's father, Di Jiang. As for why her father was so young, it was because her father had broken through to the higher being realm not long ago and had obtained a longer lifespan, so he naturally became younger. Hearing the elder's words, Di Jiang said seriously, "I will immediately bring 6 higher beings from the sect with me. You don't need to worry." Hearing this, the elders obediently retreated to the side and did not say anything else. The blood-red light spread out, and the dark and evil aura made the demon race feel quite uncomfortable. This was especially so for the demon-eating aura, which caused all of the demon race to feel a trace of fear. Countless people looked in that direction. That direction seemed to be completely enveloped by blood-red light. It was like a forbidden land with no chance of survival. Waves of terrifying aura constantly surged over like a flood, and countless demonic beasts and demons fled frantically. Powerful rays of light tore through the sky, leaving behind faint traces and causing the heavens and earth to tremble. Countless people looked incredibly terrified because each ray of light represented a higher being. The evil flower bewitching world had caused such a massive commotion, shaking the entire demon domain and attracting countless higher beings. News quickly spread to the other domains, and after hearing about this, they all headed to the demon domain. This was especially so for the large factions in the human domain, because they knew who the evil spirit Abyss Flower Ancestors legatee was. That person was the person they had been searching for this entire time, and they had never thought that he would cause such a commotion in the demon domain. The higher beings who had helped Zhao Fu in the past, Feng Qianghua, and those who were related to Zhao Fu all looked incredibly shocked. Now that things had become so big, there was nothing they could do. No matter how terrifying they were or how powerful their factions were, they could not stop all of the demon domain's higher beings. This time, they did not know what Zhao Fu would do. Feng Qianghua revealed an arrogant smile as she thought to herself, as expected of the man this empress has taken a fancy to. He really doesn't disappoint. He turned to look at his mother and begged, "Mother Empress, this time let me give it a try. If I can save him, I'll imprison him in the palace forever. If I can't, I can bring his corpse back. No one knows that he has divine blood in his body." Feng Qianhuang felt quite helpless. Her daughter wanted that boy too much, so she could only nod and agree. She said, "Be careful. This matter is incredibly dangerous, so don't be stubborn if you can't save him." Feng Qianghua happily smiled as she said, "I got it. Mother Empress, don't worry, that man is just a precious little pet. I won't give up my life for him." Hearing this, Feng Qianhuang nodded in relief. Seeing the abnormal signs in the sky, Di Moji, Yuan Ziyuan, Zhu Tianling, and the other women felt incredibly shocked. Fortunately, they had listened to Zhao Fu and retreated, or else they really might have died. Even though they had read about how terrifying the evil flower bewitching world was, they had never personally seen it. Now that they saw the heavens and earth being destroyed, they could not help but feel terrified. This was the abnormal signs caused by Zhao Fu. In front of such terrifying power, the women could not resist at all and acknowledged Zhao Fu's existence. The 12 evil spirit abyss flowers turned into blood-red flowers and bloomed. This was the color of a mature evil spirit abyss flower, and as one of the 12 evil flower emissaries, the women felt a massive wave of power enter their bodies and a terrifying power spread out. A blood-red mark appeared on their foreheads, and the 12 marks all looked different. Their hair also became blood-red, and their eyes also became blood-red, reflecting the appearance of the evil spirit abyss flowers. Traces of soul energy floated out from their foreheads and flew towards the 12 evil spirit abyss flowers. By now, countless higher beings had arrived, and looking at the 12 massive evil spirit abyss flowers that reached into the sky, a look of shock appeared on their faces. If they could destroy the 12 evil spirit abyss flowers and find the legatee, they would be able to stop the evil flower bewitching world. If they could not find the legatee, they would not be able to destroy the evil spirit abyss flowers, as they were the legatee. The higher beings exploded out with terrifying power, wanting to destroy the evil spirit abyss flowers. At that moment, the traces of soul energy entered the 12 evil spirit abyss flowers. Boom! 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 Boundless demonic chi from the entire demon domain flooded into the 12 evil spirit abyss flowers, giving off terrifying ripples that seemed to be able to destroy the heavens and earth as they spread out. This caused the higher beings' expressions to fall. The evil spirit abyss flowers were borrowing the power of the abnormal signs and the demon domain's power, making it impossible for them to attack. Doing so would be heaven-defying, and they would suffer a backlash from the demon domain's power. Facing these terrifying ripples, the higher beings could not help but retreat. They could only wait until the evil spirit abyss flowers officially opened the evil flower bewitching world and the demon domain's power weakened before they could act. The 12 evil spirit abyss flowers had fused with the 12 evil flower emissaries' soul energy, and they seemed to be alive. They gave off an even more powerful aura of life, and continuously devoured demonic chi before gathering at the top of the flowers, causing an extremely terrifying and dark aura to spread out. Each evil spirit abyss flower was 1 million meters wide, and there was a picture of a demon woman dancing on each petal, giving off a dreamlike demonic power. Countless traces of terrifying demonic energy gathered at the center of the flowers, forming 12 black orbs of light that were tens of thousands of meters wide. Each orb gave off terrifying darkness power, and space started to twist because of this power. Chapter 1507. The 12 orbs of black light above the evil spirit abyss flowers gave off boundless black light and looked like 12 black suns floating in the air. They gave off powerful auras that seemed to suppress the heavens and earth. Within the historical remnant, Zhao Fu was still lying on the altar. He opened his eyes, revealing blood-red rose-like pupils. Zhao Fu placed his hands in front of him and started to form hand seals. Blood-red demonic chi flowed out of his body and revolved around Zhao Fu, forming a massive vortex that covered the surrounding hundreds of meters and gave off shocking sounds. Traces of pure black demonic chi flowed out of the massive blood-red vortex and gathered at the center, forming a black orb that was as big as a fist. At that moment, Zhao Fu's eyes gave off a blood-red light and his rose-red pupils became incredibly devilish. A trace of soul energy floated out from his forehead and fused into the black orb. Boom! An explosion sounded out as the black orb gave off a powerful aura and gave off a massive attractive force, sucking in all of the demonic chi from the blood-red vortex and forming a black crystal ball. In the outside world, the 12 orbs of black light gave off massive auras as they slowly rose up and gathered in the air, starting to fuse together. Boom! A shocking explosion sounded out as the 12 black suns fused together, giving off terrifying darkness energy that sent out wild gales. The space around them could not withstand this power and seemed to be torn apart. Wild gales continuously swept out, causing countless boulders to be lifted into the sky and countless trees to be uprooted. The ground was peeled off layer by layer, causing sand and dust to fill the air. The terrifying aura caused the many higher beings to retreat. The evil flower bewitching world was about to unfold, and it was the first time most people had seen it. Sensing this power, they understood why the demon domain had suffered such a catastrophe back then. Everyone's expressions were serious as they stared at the fusing orbs of black light, waiting for the evil flower bewitching world to unfold. Boom! A shocking explosion once again sounded out as the 12 orbs of black light fused together, forming a 100,000-meter wide orb of black light. It gave off a shocking aura that could cause gods and demons to tremble in fear. The black light seemed to sweep through everything as it spread out, passing through worlds and covering thousands of worlds. It illuminated the land and bewitched all creatures. Immediately, all of the living beings in the area suddenly stiffened, and their eyes became hollow. Their eyes turned black, and blood-colored flowers appeared in their eyes. Not only were strands of demonic chi rising from the countless plants in the sky, but strands of demonic chi were also rising from the ground, gathering in that direction. Countless creatures that had been controlled had lifeless expressions and stiff movements. They were like walking corpses as they advanced towards the black sun in the sky. Creatures from all over gathered in that direction, creating a shocking scene. Now that the evil flower bewitching world had been fully unleashed, the heaven and earth manifestations power had gradually subsided. It was time to act. The higher beings looked at each other and waved their hands, causing massive crescents to give off terrifying power as they slashed towards the 12 evil spirit abyss flowers. Bang bang bang, the 12 evil spirit abyss flowers gave off a massive blood-red barrier to protect themselves. Each evil spirit abyss flower had massive amounts of heaven and earth power, so the barrier was incredibly sturdy. As the attacks landed on it, the barrier was not damaged at all. This made the higher beings feel quite surprised, and they became even more serious as they took out weapons. As higher beings' weapons, the auras they gave off were quite terrifying, and each of them was most likely Emperor Heaven grade. Boom, 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 terrifying attacks containing destructive power tore through the sky and struck the massive blood-red barrier. At that moment, the blood-red barrier continuously trembled, and its power rapidly weakened. It seemed that this blood-red barrier was unable to defend against so many higher beings. The higher beings did not waste any time and once again attacked. Another explosion sounded out as terrifying shockwaves turned into wild gales that blew out. The massive blood-red barrier was now covered with cracks and was about to be destroyed. Bang! A massive explosion sounded out as the higher beings once again attacked, slamming into the massive barrier and finally destroying it. The blood-red barrier turned into countless shards and dissipated. Swish, 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 the 12 evil spirit abyss flowers started to counterattack. Countless pale white roots continuously grew at the bottom, giving off ferocious power as they shot towards the higher beings. None of the higher beings dared to be careless, and they swung their weapons, which gave off cold lights as they cut apart the incoming roots. The evil spirit abyss flowers madly continued to grow, ferociously attacking the higher beings. In actuality, the evil spirit abyss flowers' roots were incredibly tough and ordinary weapons would not be able to damage them. It was a pity that they had encountered a group of higher beings, and there were many of them. As such, the countless roots were easily dealt with. In the distance, Demoji and the other women looked quite worried. The evil flower bewitching world had attracted too many higher beings this time. There were 300 or so of them. When the flower ancestor had unleashed the evil flower bewitching world in the past, there had only been 100 or so of them, and they had not faced as much resistance as now. It was possible that the evil flower bewitching world would be stopped and the higher beings would destroy the historical remnant. When that time came, facing so many higher beings, Zhao Fu would definitely die. Roar! A pained cry sounded throughout the sky as a higher being passed through the countless roots and slashed at the evil spirit abyss flowers, opening up a long gash from which bright red blood continuously flowed out. The other higher beings also slashed apart the roots and attacked the evil spirit abyss flowers, causing them to roar in pain. Wounds appeared on the 12 evil spirit abyss flowers' bodies, from which blood continuously flowed out, and they looked quite wretched. The higher beings did not stop and instead smiled as they vigorously attacked the evil spirit abyss flowers. It seemed that the massive evil spirit abyss flowers were about to be cut in half. Demoji and the other women's faces paled, and could only watch from afar, unable to participate at all. Even though they had Emperor Heaven Realm cultivation, they were still too weak and could not do anything. It seemed that the evil flower bewitching world would be stopped this time. Boom, 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 more powerful auras descended as more and more major existences arrived. Demoji and Yuan Ziyuan's factions happened to be among them. Seeing their factions, Demoji and Yuan Ziyuan felt quite delighted. The two women had the others quickly leave before flying into the sky and meeting up with their factions. Chapter 1508. However, they soon found that Demoji's appearance had greatly changed. She had blood-red hair and eyes, and her aura was the same as the evil spirit abyss flowers. Their hearts sank. They had not guessed incorrectly. Their big miss had become an evil flower emissary. A look of fury appeared on Di Zhang's face, and he brought people to cut down the 12 evil spirit abyss flowers. Demoji hurriedly stopped Di Zhang and begged, Father, don't worry. Can you stop the other higher beings from destroying the evil spirit abyss flowers? Hearing this, Di Jiang felt quite confused, and could not understand why his daughter would ask him to help that evil spirit abyss flower ancestor's legatee. His daughter definitely would not willingly become an evil flower emissary and had definitely been forced by that person. But why did his daughter say that she would help that person? Thinking of this, Di Jiang understood. If the inheritor died, his daughter would die as well. Di Jiang said seriously, "Daughter, don't worry, Dad will think of a way to remove your identity as an evil flower emissary. Don't worry, Dad will definitely tear that person to pieces to appease your hatred." Di Moji hurriedly explained, "Father, that's not what I meant. I just want you to stop those higher beings from destroying the evil spirit abyss flower. Also, I've already acknowledged that person as my husband, so he's your son-in-law. You can't let anything happen to him." Di Jiang was quite surprised. He had never thought that his daughter would submit to that person and beg him to save that bastard. However, the evil spirit abyss flower had the power to control one's thoughts, and Di Jiang suspected that Di Moji's thoughts had been controlled, which was why he had said such a thing. Moreover, the imperial general could not do such a thing because there were 300 or so higher beings present. Even if he wanted to stop them, he did not have the power to do so. Di Jiang said angrily, "Daughter, I know you're being controlled now, but I'll think of a way to save you. Capture the young miss first, don't let her escape. We'll talk after I kill that bastard." Di Moji felt a headache coming on. She had never thought that things would turn out like this. The higher beings behind Di Jiang wanted to capture her, and Di Moji naturally was not a match for them. As such, she could only threaten them with her life to stop them. Di Jiang's hatred for Zhao Fu reached the extreme, and he felt that Zhao Fu was the one who had controlled his daughter. He wanted to kill Zhao Fu for daring to treat his daughter like this. However, Di Moji started to give a detailed explanation, causing Di Jiang to gradually calm down. "Have you really decided to be his woman? A bastard like him isn't worthy of you," Di Jiang said as he looked at Di Moji seriously. First of all, that bastard had taken advantage of his daughter's situation to forcefully take advantage of him. Furthermore, that bastard was so fickle and had so many women by his side. As a father, how could he accept such a bastard as his daughter's husband? Di Moji nodded earnestly, indicating that she was willing to become his woman. Di Jiang's expression was serious as he looked at the higher beings attacking the evil flower abyss flower. He could not stop them and could only wait to see if he could save that bastard. However, this would be incredibly difficult. "Mother, can you save my husband?" Yuan Ziyuan hugged a beautiful woman and looked at her with hope in her eyes. Her faction was weaker than the Emperor Demon Sect's faction, and her mother had only brought 2 higher beings with her, so she naturally could not stop others from destroying the evil spirit abyss flower. As such, she could only try to save Zhao Fu and preserve Zhao Fu's life. The beautiful woman felt quite troubled. Saving someone from hundreds of higher beings was an incredibly dangerous matter, and she could not understand why her daughter would help such a bastard. Even though he was the evil spirit abyss flower ancestor's legatee and had great power, the beautiful woman did not like people like him. He attracted too much hatred and was not loyal enough to her daughter, so she was quite opposed to this. However, facing her daughter's sincere request, the beautiful woman could only agree and try. At the same time, she tried to think of a way to deal with Yuan Ziyuan becoming an evil flower emissary. In the distance, the cute young girl saw that the evil spirit abyss flower was about to be cut and pouted unhappily as she said to the silver-haired elder beside her, "Grandpa, look at that terrifying thing. The evil spirit abyss flower is about to be cut and the evil flower bewitching world is about to be stopped." The silver-haired elder did not reply to the young girl's words and stared at the massive black orb of light. The feeling of fear within his heart became stronger and stronger, and his hairs stood on end as his heart rapidly thumped. Within the historical remnant, Zhao Fu, who was lying on the altar, seemed to be in immense pain. His expression was quite terrifying, and there were wounds all over his body. Traces of blood flowed out of his body and flowed towards the black crystal ball. The black crystal orb absorbed Zhao Fu's blood and gave off an intense demonic light as it started to quickly spin in the air. Boom! A massive explosion sounded out as the massive black sun in the outside world gave off an even more intense black light. It exploded out with a heaven-toppling aura that swept out in all directions like a boundless ocean. This caused the higher beings attacking the evil spirit Abyss Flower to feel quite startled, and they all looked up at the massive black sun. The black sun in the sky gave off a ferocious aura as it continuously rose higher and higher before slowly disappearing. No one present could react to what had happened. Suddenly, the power of the world once again furiously gathered and the entire world fell into chaos. The clouds surged and wild winds blew. The light seemed to dim and the demonic energy from all directions gathered like seawater. An extremely dangerous aura slowly spread out from the sky and permeated the air, seeming to fill the entire heavens and earth. Within the demon domain, countless people seemed to sense something and stopped what they were doing. They came outside and looked in Zhao Fu's direction. The expressions of countless higher beings fell, and they hurriedly retreated, wanting to leave this region. None of them had thought that the abnormal signs would happen again, and it was even more intense than the evil flower bewitching world. The young girl looked quite shocked. She finally sensed the dangerous aura that her grandfather had spoken of, but she had never thought that it would be so terrifying. Her body felt as if it had fallen into icy water, and she could not help but tremble. Boom! The heavens and earth seemed to explode as a massive might descended. The higher beings attacking the evil spirit Abyss Flower all suffered a backlash and coughed up a large mouthful of blood. Countless traces of blood-red light spread out in the sky as an aura of disaster flooded out. An incredibly massive blood-red star giving off an incredibly terrifying aura slowly descended in the sky. Boom! Chapter 1509. Boom! Another explosion sounded out as countless traces of ghostly chi filled the sky, causing the surrounding temperature to plummet. A cold and eerie aura filled the heavens and earth as a gray star that looked like a moon, giving off boundless ghostly energy, descended from the sky. Boom! However, the shocking explosions did not end there, and a purple devilish light once again sounded out, covering the entire sky. A massive wave of devilish chi flowed down from the sky into the mortal world, and a massive violet dragon star giving off a powerful might gradually appeared. The 4 emperor stars gave off their own resplendent lights, giving off an aura that seemed to suppress all life. As they stood there, the scene seemed to freeze, and the world seemed to be locked down by an unimaginably powerful power, causing all living beings to feel despair. 4 emperor stars? Everyone present was incredibly shocked as they stared at the sky with wide eyes. They had never thought that 4 emperor stars would suddenly descend, and 3 of them were the supreme emperor stars of the 3 races. However, why had 4 emperor stars suddenly descended? There was only one answer. The evil spirit Abyss Flower Ancestors Legatee was actually the possessor of the 4 emperor stars that the entire heaven domain had been searching for. This was simply too shocking, and massive waves crashed in everyone's hearts. The higher being who had felt that Zhao Fu's aura was quite familiar realized that this was the aura of the possessor of 4 emperor stars. Di Jiang felt quite shocked. He had never thought that his daughter's bastard husband would be that mysterious and terrifying possessor of 4 emperor stars. He had massive secrets and could be said to be the number 1 person in the Heaven Awaken world. If Di Moji had such a terrifying person as her husband, she would not have to worry about anything in the future, as that person would definitely surpass her. Yuan Ziyuan's mother was also incredibly shocked. Looking at the 4 majestic emperor stars in the sky, she understood why her daughter had taken a fancy to this person. If her daughter could have such a terrifying person as her husband, she would be delighted to accept him. If she could have this person join her faction would welcome a golden age, and the benefits would be unimaginable. The silver-haired elder and young woman understood what kind of hidden power it was. It was the power of the Emperor Stars. The power of 4 Emperor Stars was indeed incredibly terrifying and could cause people to feel despair. Dimoji and Yuan Ziyuan were equally shocked. Even though Zhao Fu had never told them his identity, they could already guess that Zhao Fu's identity was extremely terrifying and would definitely surpass their imaginations. This was because they could tell from the information that Zhao Fu had leaked out. However, they had never thought that Zhao Fu would be hiding such a terrifying thing. Back then, he had said that he would let the Heaven Awaken world know his name, but he had already shaken the Heaven Awaken world. Everyone in the Heaven region knew of his existence. Zhao Fu did not deceive them, and they had never thought of having such an interaction with Zhao Fu, nor did they think of becoming his women. Wait! The 2 women suddenly thought of what Zhao Fu had said to them before. He had come to awaken the demon race's Emperor Star. Back then, they had not believed him and thought that it was impossible. However, Zhao Fu had 4 Emperor Stars, so what Zhao Fu had said was definitely true. Boom! A shocking explosion once again sounded out as boundless demonic chi gathered in the sky. All of the demonic chi in the demon domain started to roil, cheering and rejoicing because their master was about to descend into this world. The countless higher beings present looked at the sky in shock. Because they were all from the demon race, they could clearly feel their bloodlines trembling. They felt both excitement and fear towards what was in the sky. The countless creatures that had been controlled by the evil spirit Abyss Flower all knelt on the ground in unison as if they were worshipping their sovereign. An incredibly terrifying power slowly descended from the sky, causing space to twist. Boundless demonic light shined down from the sky, covering the heavens and earth. All of the light in the world seemed to be devoured by darkness, and a pure and evil aura spread out like a flood. An enormous black star gave off a heaven-toppling demonic flame, looking like an enormous black fireball, and it gave off terrifying ripples. Under these ripples, the heavens and earth continuously collapsed, and cracks appeared in the sky. Countless traces of primal chaos aura flowed in, and the ground cracked and collapsed. The area at the bottom of the star was affected the most, and there was already a 1,000,000-meter wide crater. The flowers, trees, rocks, rivers, insects, birds, beasts, and people all disappeared, turning into dust without leaving anything behind. The black star continuously descended, and the terrifying pressure felt as if a massive boulder was weighing down on one's body. Their bodies sank down and they found it difficult to breathe, and the higher beings' expressions were quite unsightly as they continuously retreated. In the end, the demon star stopped in the sky and completed its descent, giving off boundless black light that shook the entire world. The countless people present looked incredibly shocked as they looked at the black star in the sky. This was the demon race's demon lord star. The supreme emperor star that represented the demon race had actually been awakened by that person. Within the historical remnant, Zhao Fu's body was covered by countless traces of black starlight. The demon star's power continuously entered Zhao Fu's body, continuously increasing Zhao Fu's power and improving Zhao Fu's constitution, causing Zhao Fu to once again go through changes. The Demon Lord Star's descent naturally once again shook the demon domain. Now, everyone in the demon domain looked incredibly confused as they looked at the 5 resplendent stars giving off different colors. The factions that had gone to stop the evil flower bewitching world had never thought that such a thing would happen. No one knew if the evil flower bewitching world had stopped them, but the demon race's supreme emperor star had suddenly descended, accompanied by 4 emperor stars. The various factions did not know what was happening in the distance, but looking at the 5 stars, They understood that something shocking had happened, and they quickly gathered over. Now, the entire heaven domain had fallen into chaos because of the demon Lord Star's descent. Just what kind of existence was that person? Putting aside the fact that he had awakened 4 Emperor Stars and 3 races Emperor Stars, he had also awakened the demon race's Supreme Emperor Star. Suddenly, he had 4 of the heaven-awakened world's Supreme Emperor Stars. This was simply too terrifying. Every Emperor Star required a massive amount of fate, an incredibly pure bloodline, and extraordinary talent to awaken a single Emperor Star. Awakening one Emperor Star was already incredibly difficult, and only a small number of people in the heaven-awakened world could awaken one. However, this person had 5 Emperor Stars, and 4 of them represented different races. This person was most likely hiding something incredible. Back then, Zhao Fu had awakened his Emperor Star at the boundary of the heaven-awakened world, and they had been unable to sense where he was. Now, Zhao Fu had awakened his Emperor Star in the demon domain, and the higher beings could clearly sense the ripples. Boom, boom, boom. Chapter 15:10. What shook the most was the natural domain. All of Emperor Path College's higher beings teachers looked incredibly serious. They now understood what was going on. Back then, that person had been able to enter the forbidden region so easily and obtain the evil spirit Abyss Flower's power. So he had such an identity. However, back then, they had not been able to discover Zhao Fu's true identity and had allowed him to leave. If they had been able to keep him in Emperor Path College, he would have become the most terrifying student in Emperor Path College's history. No one could compare to his potential, and just his heaven's secrets alone were dozens of times greater than that of higher beings. However, now that that person had caused massive waves in the demon domain, what should they do? Emperor Path College had some affinity with Zhao Fu, and last time, Zhao Fu had come to visit Emperor Path College. However, now that so many higher beings had gotten involved, this matter was not something they could decide, and they were powerless to stop so many higher beings. Now, only the Dean, who had been in closed-door cultivation, could change anything. The evil spirit Abyss Flower Ancestor had been sealed in Emperor Path College by him, so this matter was related to him. Perhaps the Dean would interfere, so everyone discussed and decided to report this matter. Within the Heaven Path sect, an elder giving off a terrifying aura had been paying attention to Zhao Fu this entire time. He had never thought that Zhao Fu would suddenly appear in the demon domain, so he immediately hurried over. He wanted to know just what kind of existence Zhao Fu was. Moreover, the first Emperor Star that Zhao Fu had awakened was the human race's Supreme Emperor Star. Perhaps that person was a pure human, and if the human race had such a terrifying genius, it would be a great blessing for the human race. Of course, they could not allow such a person to die in the demon domain. Moreover, the elder was quite curious as to why Zhao Fu had 5 Emperor Stars, and he was quite eager to see him. As the largest organization in the heaven-awakened world that sold books, the Heavenly Book Pavilion's people were all incredibly excited because this was a shocking matter. A shocking number of higher beings had gathered, and this was the first time in the past 10,000 years that so many higher beings had gathered. This matter would definitely be recorded in history, and future generations would be shocked. Also, the Heavenly Book Pavilion had been paying attention to Zhao Fu from the very beginning. They were also curious about who he was, where he came from, and what he looked like. If they could obtain these things, then the books they were selling would definitely be crazily fought over. After all, this matter had attracted the attention of the entire heaven domain, and it had a massive impact. There were naturally many people who wanted to know about it, and there were most likely many people waiting for them to write about the 5 Emperor Stars descending. The people of the Pavilion of Heavenly Mysteries had already gathered together, all of them wearing solemn expressions as they asked the white-robed young lady for instructions. Fate Sovereign, Now that the various factions of the heaven domain are hurrying over, how about we go and take a look at this extraordinary person with 5 emperor stars? Yeah. This is a rare opportunity. He actually awakened his devil star in the heaven domain. We were able to find his location based on the fluctuations in the weather, but in the future, he will awaken in a faraway place, and there will be a huge heaven's fate barrier, so we won't be able to find his location. I agree with this idea. That person has been hiding something, and we've always been curious about it. If we can see him, the mysteries around him will be solved, and we'll understand what's going on. I'm worried about what's going to happen next. Now that this person has 5 emperor stars, this is unprecedented. Countless higher beings are hurrying over, and it's possible that such a genius will die a horrible death. The Fate Sovereign shook her head and refused, saying, "The Pavilion of Heavenly Mysteries is here to investigate heaven's fate and not to personally participate. The higher-ups have already ordered that we are not to participate in anything related to this person." Hearing this, everyone could only sigh and do not say anything. However, some people could not help but feel curious and went to ask about what was happening. The Heaven Spirit Financial Group's terrifying figures also hurried over to the demon domain. From the moment the Devil Star had descended, Zhao Fu's bloodline had once again gone through a terrifying upgrade. It had gone from an ordinary divine bloodline to a high-grade divine bloodline, and the person in charge of observing it had come to report in shock. The Heaven Spirit Financial Group had been paying close attention to Zhao Fu from the very beginning, and they had resisted the pressure from countless higher beings who wanted to kill Zhao Fu. They had also secretly supported Zhao Fu and given him a supreme-level account. Now that Zhao Fu had appeared in the heaven domain, they were both excited and curious. Just who was this terrifying person that they had been paying close attention to? Why was he so terrifying? Why was his bloodline continuously becoming more and more terrifying? By now, they could guess that Zhao Fu was in quite a difficult situation, but they wanted to go and take a look. If they could help, they would naturally do so. Moreover, they had been secretly supporting him this entire time, and even if they could not help him, they could at least see what the outcome was. After hearing about this, Feng Qianghua looked incredibly shocked. Nothing had ever made her feel so shocked before, and she had never thought that Zhao Fu had 5 emperor stars. However, she now understood why Zhao Fu had a divine bloodline and the highest grade dragon phoenix bloodline. Thinking about that, Feng Qianghua loudly laughed. She finally understood why Zhao Fu was so attractive to her. It seemed that her judgment had not been wrong. Zhao Fu was not simple at all, and she wanted him even more. This time, her mother fully supported her. If they could capture him, the benefits to the human Phoenix Empire would be unimaginable. If they could not capture him, they would definitely kill him. With his potential, he would definitely cause a catastrophe. At the same time, Feng Qianhuang planned to personally take a higher being to see just what kind of existence Zhao Fu was and why he had so many terrifying things. Perhaps he really was hiding some massive secret. Otherwise, how could someone from the outskirts have such terrifying potential? Of course, it was also possible that he was the reincarnation of a celestial. The Sword Sect's elders had gathered together, and the sect master sighed in amazement. This boy's talent is simply shocking. Luiwe, are you really not going to consider him as your husband? With his current status, you might not even be a good match for him. Another elder lightly laughed as he said, with this person's potential and terrifying sword intent, if he joins the Sword Sect, he will definitely become the next sect master. He and Luiwe would be a match made in heaven. No one is more suitable than him. Jian Luiwe frowned and said coldly, Father, Elder, don't worry about my matters, you should worry about that person's safety. All of the higher beings in the heaven domain are gathering there. I just feel that it is a pity to lose that celestial slaying grade sword intent. Chapter 15:11 Another elder nodded and said, "That's right. For the heaven-awakened world to be able to give birth to such a terrifying genius is the heaven-awakened world's fortune. Perhaps his appearance can change the heaven-awakened world's situation. Also, the outer world is continuously corroding the heaven-awakened world, and there seems to be another world attacking from the void on the other side. The heaven-awakened world situation is quite dangerous, and heroes are born in troubled times. Perhaps he can save the heaven-awakened world." Another elder thought of something and said, "Did you all sense that this person's blood-red star's aura is the same as the Chaos Evil Sword's aura?" These words caused everyone to feel quite startled. They carefully sensed the Chaos Imperial Star's aura and found that it was indeed the same as the Chaos Evil Sword's aura. Was that terrifying Chaos Evil Sword in this person's hands? Thinking about that, everyone felt quite delighted. The Sword Sect Master led the powerful elders and Jian Luiwei towards the demon domain. No matter what their goal was, they had to go and take a look. The Devil Domain's dragon people all looked quite shocked. They had never thought that old Ninth's legatee would have such a terrifying background. With 5 Emperor stars, his might could shake the heavens and earth and cause all creatures to submit. A dragon race higher being sighed in amazement. Old Ninth's legatee is simply too powerful. How could he find such a terrifying person as his legatee? Old Ninth can die without regrets now that he has such an extraordinary legatee. Another dragon race higher being said, "I have no objections if he sits on the throne of 10,000 dragons and becomes the ruler of the dragon race. With his potential, he will definitely lead the dragon race to a glorious era." A coarse-looking higher being said, "This person's bloodline isn't pure, and he already has 4 races Supreme Emperor stars. Who knows what race he is? I don't think he's fit to be the ruler of the dragon race." This higher being was a supporter of the current ruler of the dragon race, so he naturally would not support an outsider. An elderly higher being frowned and said, "Now is not the time to argue about this. This person is in danger, and after all, he's old Ninth's legatee. Let's see if we can save his life. As for the Dragon Lord position, we can talk about that in the future." A cold-looking dragon race higher being said with a serious expression, "I'm afraid this is not a simple matter. Who knows how many higher beings have gone, and we won't be able to protect him." In the end, the mighty figures of the Dragon Clan turned into streams of light and left. They planned to head to the demon realm to see how the situation was. Back then, when Zhao Fu had gone to the underworld, he had caused a massive commotion, and many people knew of Zhao Fu's existence. However, Zhao Fu only had 4 Emperor stars, yet he now had 5. Such a fast rate of growth was truly frightening. It was not something an ordinary person could compare to. Now, countless people from the underworld planned to come to the heaven-awakened world to see just what kind of person the 6 Paths demon images had been infuriated and wanted to kill. They did not want to save Zhao Fu, nor did they want to kill Zhao Fu. They were purely there to watch the show. In the end, the gazes returned to the demon domain. The number of higher beings gathered here had already reached a horrifying 500 or so. Every single one of them was an existence that caused countless people to feel fear. Now, all of the higher beings looked incredibly shocked as they looked at the 5 Emperor stars in the sky. Only at such a close distance could they sense how terrifying they were. Right now, the abnormal signs were still in effect, and the 5 Emperor stars were being buffed by boundless heaven and earth power. The higher beings did not dare to act, as if they did, they would suffer a terrifying backlash from heaven and earth power. Those who were lightly injured would cough up blood, and those who were heavily injured would be heavily injured. However, the higher beings already wanted to kill Zhao Fu. They had already destroyed the evil flower bewitching world, and there was enmity between them. They had to kill Zhao Fu, or else if they allowed someone as terrifying as Zhao Fu to leave, their fates would be quite terrible. The abnormal signs had not disappeared, and the higher beings unleashed their various abilities to search for where Zhao Fu was. Based on the ripples that Zhao Fu gave off, they were able to easily find where Zhao Fu was. Suddenly, the heaven and earth power started to dissipate, and the abnormal signs gradually calmed down. The power that the 5 Emperor stars gave off also started to weaken and slowly disappear. The higher beings all smiled. Now that the heaven and earth power had dissipated, they did not have to worry about the backlash from heaven and earth power. They could directly attack and blast open the historical remnant hidden in the void and find that evil spirit abyss legatee. They wanted to see just what a person with 5 Emperor stars was like. Boom, 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 the higher beings gave off terrifying auras and sent out wild gales as they swung their weapons, sending out sharp lights filled with destructive auras towards the void. The void directly shattered, revealing the historical remnant hidden within. The historical remnant instinctively sensed immense danger and automatically gave off a powerful barrier to protect itself. Boom, 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 the higher beings once again unleashed their attacks, and terrifying power blasted against the barrier, causing it to violently tremble. It was unable to withstand the attacks of so many higher beings, and it started to shatter. A trace of coldness appeared in the higher beings' eyes as they prepared to rush into the historical remnant. Moji looked at her father pleadingly. Facing so many higher beings, it was impossible for Zhao Fu to survive. Only by relying on her father would Zhao Fu have a chance at survival. Di Jiang felt quite troubled, but he still brought his higher beings and gave off his aura as he said loudly, "Everyone, this person is already my son-in-law. This person is already my son-in-law. Can you let him off this time? I can guarantee that this person will not harm anyone else. Can everyone give the Demon Emperor sect some face?" As one of the top-ranked factions in the demon domain, the Demon Emperor sect had some prestige, and many higher beings stopped. A lewd-looking man loudly laughed as he said, "Di Jiang, I never thought that your daughter would become an evil flower emissary. I never thought that your daughter would also become an evil flower emissary. What a pity. She's the demon domain's #1 beauty, and even I've wanted her for a long time. However, if you want us to spare him just like that, you're dreaming." A big bearded man laughed as he said, "That's right, we can't spare this person. Who knows if he'll take revenge on us in the future. Moreover, this person not only has the power to harm the demon domain, but he also has some sort of massive secret, or else he would not have awakened 5 Emperor stars." An ugly-looking old man said, "This sovereign must obtain this person. As long as I can capture this person, no matter what terrifying things he is hiding, they will all belong to this sovereign. This person's corpse is definitely a supreme treasure in the world." Chapter 15:12. The higher beings here not only wanted to kill Zhao Fu, who had brought disaster to the demon domain, but they also wanted to obtain the heaven-defying things that Zhao Fu had hidden. Even Zhao Fu's corpse would be a supreme treasure. Just thinking about the 5 Emperor stars he had, it would be obvious. Hearing these words, a trace of anger appeared on Di Jiang's face. Even with the higher beings on his side, there were only 7 of them. How could they stop 500 or so higher beings? Yuan Ziyuan looked at her mother, and the beautiful woman smiled and nodded. She brought the higher beings from her faction and flew towards Di Jiang as she said, "This person is my beloved daughter's husband. Would you all be willing to spare him? Ha ha ha, you're just interested in this person's potential. If he joins my faction, I'll naturally spare him. However, I can't compete with you over him, so it's best to kill him. Don't let anyone have him. Do you think you can stop us with just a few of you?" A higher being said as he disdainfully laughed. However, a few higher beings stood out and said, "This person has our demon race's bloodline and a supreme emperor star. It would be a pity to kill him. Every supreme emperor star can greatly affect a race." That's right. The various domains people are quickly heading over, and their goal is definitely to steal this person. How about we keep him alive and see what kind of person he is? However, there were very few people like this, and many higher beings could not wait any longer. The things that Zhao Fu had were simply too alluring, and some higher beings were worried that they would let the tiger return to the mountain. As such, they were determined to kill Zhao Fu. The 10 Demon Empire's people arrived and directly ignored the higher beings and charged into the historical remnant. The other higher beings did not want to fall behind and also charged in, wanting to obtain Zhao Fu. It was as if they were fighting over a supreme treasure. Di Jiang and the beautiful woman helplessly led their people into the historical remnant. They had long since expected this to happen. With Zhao Fu's potential and how mysterious and terrifying he was, the higher beings would not give up so easily. They could only wait and see if they had an opportunity to act. However, looking at how murderous the 10 Demon Empire's people looked, it was likely that they would not be able to save this person. By now, Zhao Fu had completed his transformation. Of course, he could sense countless higher beings surging in, but he was unable to escape. Space had already been sealed, and there were no teleportation channels that could be used. Even if he hid in the Emperor Killing Sword world, those higher beings would definitely be able to blast open the sword world, and Zhao Fu would not be able to escape. Thinking about this, Zhao Fu's expression became quite unsightly. The higher beings quickly came to the 7th level and saw a person wearing an ordinary black cloak and giving off an Earth Realm aura standing on an altar. They all looked quite surprised. They had never thought that the person with 5 Emperor stars, the incredibly mysterious person who hid heaven-defying secrets, and the person the entire heaven domain had been searching for was this person. If it wasn't for the fact that the aura he gave off was the same as the 5 Emperor stars, they definitely would not believe that this pitifully weak person was the owner of the 5 Emperor stars. The 10 Demon Empire's Emperor coldly looked at Zhao Fu and said in a dignified tone, "You're the person with 5 Emperor stars?" Now, whether Zhao Fu admitted it or not did not matter. Even though Zhao Fu felt immense fear facing a higher being, he did not show any fear and replied in a neither servile nor overbearing manner, "Yes." The 10 Demon Empire's Emperor's eyes gave off killing intent as he said, "If you weren't the evil spirit Abyss Flower Ancestor's legatee and submitted to my 10 Demon Empire, I wouldn't care about what heaven-defying things you have, and I might even protect you. However, it's a pity that you're his legatee. You can die now." Zhao Fu felt quite startled. He only had a legatee relationship with the evil spirit Abyss Flower Ancestor, and they were enemies. The next time they met, he would definitely kill him. This was because Zhao Fu's evil spirit Abyss Flower's power was not something the evil spirit Abyss Flower Ancestor had willingly given to him, but it had been forcefully taken by the magic formation and sent into Zhao Fu's body. Their relationship was not good, and it was not a master-disciple relationship. The 10 Demon Empire's Emperor stretched out a hand. He could easily crush someone with low cultivation like Zhao Fu to death, and he felt that it was a pity that such a peerless person with 5 Emperor stars would die at his hands. "He has a divine bloodline!" Suddenly, a shriek rang out, accompanied by an extremely shocked voice. It came from a supreme being with a fair and clean face. Everyone felt quite startled and sensed Zhao Fu's aura. Indeed, he had a divine bloodline, and they all looked quite shocked. Zhao Fu did not dare to hide his aura, and the other higher beings did not notice because they had been attracted by Zhao Fu's low strength. If it wasn't for the fair-faced higher being crying out, no one would have noticed. The 10 Demon Empire's Emperor, who had been about to act, could not help but stop, and everyone else also stopped. This was because this matter involved holy empires, which reigned far above empires. If there really were celestials in the world, they would definitely be in holy empires, and many higher beings feared holy empires. If this person had some heaven-defying item and could awaken 5 Emperor stars, Perhaps as long as he was someone from a holy empire, everything could be explained. No wonder his identity had always been so mysterious. Of course, there were many people who were suspicious because Zhao Fu's strength was too low and he was too low-key. Moreover, it had been a long time since someone from a holy empire had appeared in the world. However, now that Zhao Fu's identity was related to a holy empire, everyone started to hesitate. Even the most powerful 10-demon empire did not dare to directly face a holy empire. Following this, the Emperor General and the beautiful woman rushed over and felt quite startled. They understood why their daughter had chosen him as her husband and let out a sigh of relief. Now that Zhao Fu was related to a holy empire, the higher beings feared holy empires and started to hesitate. This matter was much easier to deal with than before. You're a holy son? What holy empire is that? The 10-demon empire's emperor asked as he looked at Zhao Fu seriously. After all, his next decision could put his empire in danger. The other higher beings looked at Zhao Fu. They all wanted the heaven-defying item that Zhao Fu had and wanted to get rid of this scourge, but because they feared holy empires, they did not dare to act. Now, they could only see what Zhao Fu had to say. If he could say that he was from a holy empire, they naturally would not dare to act and allow Zhao Fu to leave. Chapter 15-13. Facing the 10-demon empire's emperor's question and the gazes of countless higher beings, the atmosphere became deathly silent. Zhao Fu could not speak because he did not know about holy empires. If he spoke, he would definitely reveal that he was not a holy son. Without the protection of a holy son, these higher beings would not have any reservations and would directly kill Zhao Fu. Everything on him, including his corpse, would be taken by them. In actuality, the heaven-defying item they were looking for was the thing that had allowed Zhao Fu to awaken so many emperor stars. It was the origin mark that Tuo Baqing had given him back then, and it was incredibly tempting to higher beings. They would do everything in their power to obtain it. The higher beings looked at Zhao Fu and waited for Zhao Fu's reply. However, Zhao Fu was unable to answer at all, and the scene fell deathly silent. Time gradually passed, and the higher beings' gazes towards Zhao Fu became quite unfriendly. Zhao Fu could only muster up his confidence and courage as he calmly replied, "Why should I tell you where I come from? Do you have the right to tell me?" SSS. The higher beings all gasped. The 10-demon empire was one of the top 3 factions in the demon domain, and let alone the demon domain, even in the heaven domain, no one dared to speak to him like this. Ordinary people would be completely obliterated, but this was a holy son. A trace of anger appeared on the 10-demon empire's emperor's face as he asked coldly, "Which holy empire do you come from? Take out your proof of identity, or this sovereign will immediately kill you here." The higher beings once again looked at Zhao Fu. If Zhao Fu could not take out proof, they would not be 100% certain that Zhao Fu was a holy son just because of his divine bloodline. Zhao Fu felt a headache coming on and could not continue pretending because Zhao Fu did not have any proof at all. Seeing this, the 10-demon empire's emperor gave a cold smile. He had already made up his mind and slowly stretched out a hand, preparing to do something. Suddenly, boundless blood-red light spread out, covering the heavens and earth in an instant. Massive blood-red flowers giving off terrifying auras slowly bloomed. There were 12 flowers in total, and they were also evil spirit abyss flowers. However, they were not Zhao Fu's evil spirit abyss flowers. The evil spirit abyss flowers bloomed in the air, and each flower was 100,000 meters long, causing the higher beings to feel quite startled. The 12 evil spirit abyss flowers gave off auras that could rival ordinary higher beings' auras. The 12 evil spirit abyss flowers gave off terrifying auras as they started to spin and their petals started to fall. Terrifying power gathered at the center of the flowers, forming 12 small black orbs that gave off countless arcs of black lightning. The higher beings' expressions fell, and they hurriedly retreated because the 12 evil spirit abyss flowers were about to self-destruct. Once the 12 black orbs exploded, it would be equivalent to 12 ordinary higher beings self-destructing. Thinking about how terrifying the self-destruction of 12 higher beings would be, they would definitely die if they got too close. The petals continuously fell, and the black orbs at the center of the flowers became larger and larger. The terrifying power they gave off became stronger and stronger, and countless destructive arcs of black lightning flashed, causing the world to feel terror. The higher beings did not understand what was going on, and they looked quite panicked as they unleashed defensive barriers and quickly retreated. A look of terror appeared on Zhao Fu's face as his body trembled under this destructive power. Once the 12 black orbs exploded, even higher beings could die, let alone someone with Earth Realm cultivation like him. Swish, swish, swish. The following scene caused Zhao Fu to feel quite surprised. Even though the 12 black orbs were around Zhao Fu, they did not self-destruct around Zhao Fu and instead turned into rays of light and shot towards the fleeing higher beings. Even though Zhao Fu did not understand what was going on, he quickly ran in the opposite direction of the black orbs and unleashed his own defensive barrier. Boom! 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 A shocking explosion sounded out as a terrifying black wave of light spread out, tearing apart space. The ground, rocks, mountains, flowers, grass, and demonic beasts were all annihilated by that power and turned into nothingness, causing the heavens and earth to continuously tremble. The massive historical remnant hidden in the void was directly blasted apart and black light shot out. Countless boulders containing terrifying power shot out in all directions, and a ferocious shock wave blasted out in all directions, causing countless boulders to roll and trees to be destroyed. Zhao Fu was hit by the shock waves of the explosion, and he lay on the ground, covered with blood. His body was covered with injuries. Fortunately, the black orbs were quite far away from Zhao Fu, or else it was possible that Zhao Fu would have died there. The higher beings at the center of the explosion were not in a good state either. Their hair and clothes were in disarray, and there was blood at the corners of their lips. The higher beings closest to them were heavily injured, but because they had been prepared, none of them had died. The 10 Demon Empire's emperor seemed to be completely fine and walked out from the boundless void. He coldly looked at Zhao Fu with a trace of mockery, thinking that it was Zhao Fu who had done that. "You'll definitely die today," the 10 Demon Empire's emperor said coldly. He had long since confirmed that Zhao Fu was not a holy son, and he raised his hand, preparing to kill the heavily injured Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu did not hesitate and used his final life-saving trump card. The other 4 Emperor stars in the sky had long since disappeared, and only the Demon Lord star was still there. The 12 evil spirit abyss flowers outside the historical remnant, and even though they were damaged, they were not dead. Arg! Zhao Fu roared as the 12 evil spirit abyss flowers burst into black flames. The fiery light rushed into the sky and an extremely dark and evil power spread out, sending out massive gales. The Demon Lord star, which was originally faintly discernible in the sky, seemed to have been summoned by some sort of power. It once again brought with it a terrifying sense of oppression, and a boundless black light appeared in the sky. The higher beings hurrying over from the other domains felt quite surprised. Before, the Emperor stars had disappeared, so they had thought that the matter was over. They had never thought that the Demon Lord star would suddenly light up. Boom! The Demon Lord star exploded with a monstrous aura that swept through the heavens and earth. The clouds in the sky instantly dissipated, and countless mountain peaks were shaved off. Many of the higher beings who had rushed over could not help but stop and slightly block the attacking aura. They looked up and saw an enormous blood-red evil spirit abyss flower at the center of the Demon Lord star. The Demon Lord star's appearance greatly changed, and it looked like an eye in the sky. As soon as this eye appeared, boundless black light spread out, covering the heavens and earth. The higher beings present and those hurrying over were bound by a formless energy, and their eyes became slightly black. The 10 Demon Empire's emperor, who was about to attack Zhao Fu, also froze. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.